I'm Christine Lisi. Another former Northwestern football player filed a lawsuit against the school, bringing the number to 9 since the firing of Coach Pat Fitzgerald. Former offensive lineman Ramon Diaz alleges coaches and teammates mocked him for his Mexican heritage, and coaches failed to stop hazing acts. The cause of Jaguars receiver Calvin Ridley's toe injury determined to be his cleats. He has switched his cleats, which is expected to solve the issue. Ridley brought in by Jacksonville to take the team to another level. He certainly should do that for quarterback Trevor Lawrence, believes ESPN's Jeff Darlington.
I think that he has the chance to kind of vault from a level of respectability into a top echelon, top-tier quarterback. So I think Trevor Lawrence really has a chance, especially with Calvin Ridley and the early signs from him, to vault into a different sort of tier of quarterbacks.
Jeff Darlington on ESPN Radio Mornings. Baseball Braves got 3 hits, 3 RBI, 4 runs scored from Ronald Acuna Jr. in a 12-5 rout of the Angels. Nationals top the Brewers 3-2. Milwaukee, now a game back of NL Central leading Cincinnati, also has a half-game lead for the final NL wildcard spot.
How would you love a chance to save some money on car insurance? Geico can help. Switch today and see all the ways you could save with great rates and discounts. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com to get a rate quote and get started seeing how much you could save.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Musu. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day. Yep.
It's hump day.
Let's hump, everybody.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Oh, wait. A special request and dedication.
Hump day.
I feel like Casey.
It's hump day.
Keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Just come to my attention. There's a gentleman
Hump day.
named Chad Landry.
It's hump day.
Chad is a fan of the show.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Chad hates the Hump Day Open.
Hump day.
Hey, Chad.
It's hump day.
Hump you.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
But thanks for listening.
Hump day.
We got a Saints camp report.
It's hump day.
We got the Pac-12 disintegrating before our eyes.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We got a Falcons camp report with Mark Zinno. We got Pluckers trivia.
It's hump day.
We got Alvin Kamara fighting Roger Goodell in New York.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We got Michael Hackett being no, not Nathaniel Hackett. Michael Hackett's a buddy. Nathaniel Hackett being a ninny.
Hump day.
We got Bourbon Dictionary.
It's hump day.
We got lots to do, so let's get rolling. Glad to have you aboard with us here on this Hump Day edition of AFR. And let us begin today, as we do every day right here.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
All right, so we'll open today with a smidge of breaking news. This comes from nobody's friend, Dan Wetzel of Yahoo Sports. But he was the first to have it, so attribution where warranted. A group of Big Ten presidents have begun exploratory discussions on expansion in light of Big 12 uncertainty. Focus is possibly adding Oregon and Washington to move to 18 members, or Cal and Stanford to reach 20. Big Ten could be eyeing a 20-team Super League. Now, Dan Wetzel did add a couple of other notes here that are worth sharing. Discussion's very early stages. No decision expanding at all has been made or imminent. Big Ten may choose to wait and see what happens with other Pac-12 members, Arizona, Arizona State, Utah, and the Big 12, et cetera, before making a decision. But Big Ten is having exploratory conversations about expanding beyond 16. Of course, adding USC, UCLA brings them to 16 members. Oregon, Washington would make it 18. Cal, Stanford would make it 20. And I would like to point out that for many, many, many years, as we've had this whole conversation about conference realignment, my point has been a lot of you roll your eyes and a lot of you are scared of it. And I understand why, because humans by nature are resistant to change and we fear change. That is a very human emotion. There are a lot of people who, when I say this, push back. But we are headed to one college football. There will be a day where we no longer have conferences as we understand them. We're not going to need conference championship games. We're not going to have silly bowl tie-ins with dudes in ugly blazers telling us why it's important to go play in their bowl game because bowls are irrelevant. Well, more of that in a second. We are headed to an inevitability and a world where only the elite are invited. And that is going to be a great thing for college football. A great thing for college football. Because you know what's going to happen when you have a 20-team Big Ten? You know what's going to happen? They're going to have to play each other. And you're not going to see Ohio State against Bowling Green. You're not going to see Michigan against Eastern Michigan because nobody wants to see it. It's the thing that I've shouted from the rooftops forever. But you, the collective college football fan base, are the ones who get railroaded. You've had the wool pulled over your eyes for all these years. So, well, you need that layup. You need a tune-up game. You need a rest game. No, you don't. Nobody wants that. If everybody decides we're not playing those games anymore, you know what happens? You get better games all up and down the schedule. How many people you think are going to be in Tiger Stadium the third quarter of LSU and Grambling the second Saturday in September? Huh? Anybody want to take a guess? 20,000? Friends and family? I mean, nobody wants to see it. It's going to be a good thing for college football. We are headed there. It is an inevitability. We are moving down that road. And the G5 and the schools that don't matter are going to have to go play their own league. And go play your own league and be the best you can be. That's great. But you're not going to be invited to the party. And you don't deserve to be invited to the party. So that could be the first giant step in that direction. It is also funny, however, George Kliavkoff, remember this? The Pac-12 commissioner, just 2 Fridays ago. 2 Fridays ago. Literally, this was 12 days ago. The Pac-12 commissioner, the final Pac-12 media days, including USC and UCLA, of course, 12 teams. The final Pac-12 media days as a 12-member institution, he said this.
It's not a concern. Our schools are committed to each other and to the Pac-12. We'll get our media rights deal done. We'll announce the deal. I think the realignment that's going on in college athletics will come to an end for this cycle. And then the truth is we've got bigger fish to fry. You know, there are incredible opportunities and also challenges in front of college athletics. And I need to be able to work with all of my colleagues in Division I and particularly in the A5. And we'll do that. And we'll move past, kind of all the bitter squabbling of the last year, and we'll work together to make college athletics better.
He's either a liar or he's dumb. Either way, he's bad at his job. Because less than a week after those words were uttered, Colorado left the Pac-12 for the Big 12. And now less than 2 weeks after those words were uttered, there's the possibility of the Big 10 now poaching 2 or possibly 4 more Pac-12 schools. Pac-12 is done, y'all. It's over. All right, it is After Further Review. We're glad to have you aboard with us here. Show open every day, brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. Drink easy in Louisiana. You can still get those camouflage aluminum bottles at great retailers. So remember, every time you buy those camouflage aluminum bottles, great by the pool as well. You don't have glass by the pool. Great by the beach. Grab those camouflage aluminum bottles. Know that every single purchase is going to benefit Folds of Honor. It's not a new thing. They've done this for 13 years. And over the last 13 years, have raised $21 million to fund scholarships for the children of our fallen war heroes. What a great, great endeavor that Folds of Honor is, and Bud Light, happy to be a part of it, as are our partners here locally at Mockler Beverage. Drink easy with Bud Light. All right, it's after further review. We're glad to have you aboard with us here. One other quick note. I don't know if I have time right now, but I want to delve deeper into this because it kind of part and parcel with the whole conversation about realignment is the future of the bowl system in college football. And Tony Petitti, the new commissioner of the Big Ten, had some pretty interesting conversations about the future of the bowl system. So I do want to get to that. Let me knock out a break. When we come back, though, I do want to talk about the Saints, who made another roster move. They've added another offensive lineman today, and I do have some reaction to that, why it's impactful. We'll get to that, and I will get to this this comment from Tony Petitti about the future of the bowl system. Stick around with us here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Man, if you are spending time out in your yard, if you love to garden, if you're a green thumb, or maybe you're just thinking, I'd like to get some exercise, get outside without, maybe suffering heat stroke because it's 115 degrees, go see our friends at Clegg's Nursery. I tell you every day just to get in the garden and just plant something. You're not sure what to plant? No worries. Go ask our friends at Clegg's. One of the things I'll tell you, we go every year in May around Mother's Day, and Erica picks out a whole bunch of flowers that we plant out in the back by the pool and the patio pots, the flower beds, and all that sort of stuff. And one of the things that we're very conscious of is what plants, what flowers are going to do well in this climate and what's going to need sort of minimal care. Because honestly, we don't have time to spend, a ton of time every day in the garden. We're busy. We both work. We have a child. So Clegg's can help you with that. No matter what you're looking to do, their friendly, helpful horticulturists are there for you at Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local. Tell them Matt sent you to Clegg's Nursery.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $10,500 off MSRP on all new 23 Ram 1500 Laramie trucks in stock. All with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Saints are back on the practice field on Wednesday. They'll have a day off Thursday and then back at it on Friday. Alvin Kamara notably was not present at practice on Wednesday. We'll get to more of that in about 45 minutes to start hour number 2 because Alvin Kamara was in New York meeting with Roger Goodell. So everything Dennis Allen said, everything we know about that meeting, the possibilities, we'll delve into that in about 45 minutes. When Dennis Allen met with the media after practice on Wednesday, he did announce a couple of transactions after another injury here in camp. Here's DA.
We waived injured offensive lineman Scott Lashley, and we signed offensive lineman Tommy Kramer. Calvin Throckmorton went inside with an elbow. Andrew Dow, knee, and Alante Taylor had some hamstring tightness. I don't expect any of those to be major issues, but we'll evaluate them and see where we're at.
Cool. So none of that seems to be really significant, which is the best news. What you noticed there at the beginning, the transactions that he discussed were waiving Scott Lashley, who's an undrafted rookie, who came for a rookie camp tryout and made the team. Well, they waived him with an injury designation, and they brought in Tommy Kramer. Now, let's talk a little bit first about Kramer as a prospect, and then why it's significant. So, Tommy Kramer he's from Ohio, and he went to school at Notre Dame. He played for Brian Kelly at Notre Dame. So a very notable, obviously, run that Brian Kelly had on producing offensive linemen in South Bend. We've talked about that plenty. And he had a really productive career in South Bend. He redshirted in 2016, but then started 12 times in 2017. He started 10 times in 2018. 2019, he started 7 games and then missed the remainder of the season with a knee injury. And then came back in 2020, the COVID year, which was his 5th year, his final year in school. And he started all 10 games that he played in, made all ACC. Remember, Notre Dame played in the ACC that year in the COVID season. So he was first team all ACC, and he was a third team All American. So you're talking about a guy that had a really productive career at Notre Dame. Started nearly 40 games, 39 games during his career in South Bend. Went undrafted largely because of the knee injury that cost him the bulk of his 2019 season. And sometimes injuries are just a hard thing for guys to overcome. We talk about it all the time. You go to the combine, the most important part of the combine, the physical and the interview. The interview to see if they have any red flags about your personality. The physical to see if there are any red flags about you physically. So he signs with the Lions as an undrafted free agent and actually played as a rookie. Made 3 starts, played 9 games as a rookie with the Lions. And then last year, he got injured and missed the entire season, and the Lions let him go. So it's kind of one of those things where Tommy Kramer, every time he's gotten his footing and started to establish himself, he got hurt. At Notre Dame, he redshirted his first year, played a lot as a redshirt freshman, as a sophomore, then as a junior. Boom, knee injury cost him the bulk of his season. Now, bounced back and had a fantastic senior year, was a third-team All-American, first-team All-ACC. He goes undrafted his rookie year. He makes the roster. He starts 3 times. He plays in 9 games. His second year, boom, injured, misses all of 2022. So the interesting thing about Tommy Kramer right now is that he's 25 years old. He's just entering year 3 in the league, and he's only played in 9 total games with 3 starts. So physically, he doesn't have a lot of wear and tear and beat down on the body that a long NFL career can give an interior offensive lineman. But the downside is he doesn't have a lot of experience, right? Just 9 games played in 3 starts. But the part that's really interesting is he's 25 years old. Tommy Kramer is older than Cesar Ruiz, just for context there. And Cesar Ruiz, he was a rookie in the NFL in 2020. So here's a guy that maybe doesn't have the experience, but similarly doesn't have the wear and tear, but is also an older, more mature physically player. I keep looking at the offensive line with the New Orleans Saints, and in particular, how they keep rotating guys on the interior as a little bit of I'll use the term loosely, as a red flag. And I know whenever we say red flag, it always has a negative connotation because saying something is a red flag has a negative connotation with it. But I think what it maybe shows is not so much some grave issue, but an area of potential concern. Look, if the New Orleans Saints keep Eric McCoy healthy and Andrus Peat and Cesar Ruiz and Ryan Ramczyk healthy, and if Trevor Penning wins the left tackle job, and then Hurst is your swing guy at tackle, and then one of these guys is your backup on the interior, if it's Max Garcia or Throckmorton or maybe Kramer wins a job, we'll see. Well, I like that offensive line. But as we've talked about plenty, the big problem that you have is that on the interior of the offensive line, really on the offensive line as a whole, no team goes through an entire season without injury, without testing their depth on the offensive line. I know we've talked plenty about Andrus Peat, who left practice the other day, limping off the field. Pete has never played a full season in his NFL career. He was drafted back in 2015. He has never played a full season. He missed 4 games as a rookie, missed 1 game in year 2, 1 game in year 3, 3 games in year 4, 6 games in year 5, 3 games in year 6. He played just 6 games in 2021. He missed 10 games in 2021 with injury. And then last year, he missed 6 games. He has never shown you his ability to stay healthy. And the reason that's impactful is because that's a guy that sometimes kicks out and plays left tackle for you as well as a backup. Not only is he your starting left guard, but he's also a rotational left tackle piece for you. It's a valuable player who can never stay healthy. So odds are, judging by a sample size that's run 8 years, now going on 9 years, in the last 8 years, Andrus Peat has never played a full season. I don't believe he'll play a full season now. We've seen Cesar Ruiz and Eric McCoy miss time as well. So there's a reason why Calvin Throckmorton has started 20 games in his career. Calvin Throckmorton has started 20 times. He's played in 31 games with 20 starts. The reason is because your guys can't stay healthy. And that's not just your guys. I mean, that's just symptomatic of that position in the NFL. So I know we're spending a lot of time talking about these backup offensive linemen, but it was why bringing in Trey Turner was impactful. It was why bringing in Max Garcia was important, because Garcia in the NFL has started at left guard, right guard, and can play center. So if at any point, I'll give you a hypothetical. Let's say Eric McCoy goes down. Knock on Formica, hope it doesn't hurt. But what if Eric McCoy goes down? Well, Ruiz slides over and from guard to center, and then you put in a backup guard. Backups in at 2 spots. Or do you put in a backup center like Max Garcia if he makes this team, and then Ruiz stays at right guard? Maybe that's what you do. But you have to think for all those probabilities or possibilities if you're Dennis Allen, if you're Mickey Loomis, as you're putting this team together. So, yes, it matters signing Tommy Kramer today. This isn't, I think, just a guy who you're bringing in to see if he or you're bringing in just as a camp body so your starters don't run all the reps during the team period. There's a component of that. And I'm not telling you Tommy Kramer is going to be favored to beat out Throckmorton or Garcia or some of these other guys. But there's a real possibility that's how it could go down if he outperforms them. And he's a guy that won reps and 1 starts in college, won a roster spot as an undrafted rookie, and then became a starter in the NFL before being injured. So, yeah. Is there an opportunity for someone like Tommy Kramer to come in and maybe push Max Garcia and Calvin Throckmorton for a backup guard spot? Absolutely there is. Especially if you can show versatility playing both sides of the line. So we'll keep an eye on how those jobs go. And you won't really know, honestly, until you get into the preseason games and you see how they're rotating. Who's running with the 1s, who's running with the 2s, and then how you perform in those situations. That's going to start to give you more of your answer. Now, specifically with the offensive line, Derek Carr was made available to the media today and talked about a couple of guys. One of them is the rookie who, the 2 players that before camp started, I said I got under a microscope were Payton Turner and Trevor Penning, 2 former first-round picks that need to have a massive role on this team. Here was Derek Carr on Trevor Penning so far in camp.
Very violent individual. He wants to be physical. He wants to assert his dominance, in the run game and the pass game, all those kind of things. And the cool thing too is Cam came up to him, was talking to him about something after our set, and you hear him like, oh, yeah, I got you. Yeah, that makes sense. So he's as aggressive as he is. He's also willing to learn and grow as a player. So I'm excited about it. I
am too. I'm excited about Trevor Penning if he can stay healthy because he's an integral part of this team. Carr also talked about Eric McCoy. I mean, let's not forget that, the battery, the quarterback-center exchange, that relationship is very important. I mean, it's when the Saints drafted Cesar Ruiz, I'll remind you, he was a center at Michigan, and he was brought in to be a center. But it would have been, if they had moved him to center, because McCoy was playing center after Max Unger suddenly retired, if they had put Ruiz at center in 2020, that would have been Drew Brees' third center in as many seasons. And McCoy was really good at that position. So, yes, that battery matters. Of course, the quarterback-center exchange matters. What's the old stat Mike Detillier gave it for so many years? On the week that a team loses its starting center, they fail to cover something like 85% of the time. Yeah, who your starting center is absolutely matters, and it matters to the quarterback as well. So here was Derek Carr today on working with Eric McCoy so far.
He's one of the best. He's smart. He's physical. He's athletic. And he's in, for a center, he's in a good mood, a lot of the time, and that's usually not the case. Usually centers are a little grumpy, but he's in a pretty good mood for a center, for the most part.
See if the Saints can keep that group healthy. If you have a healthy McCoy, Ramczyk, Ruiz, Pete, Penning, Throckmorton, Hurst, I like that group. I like it a lot. If it's a healthy group, when you really start delving into the depth is when you start to get a little antsy. And that's why they brought in a new player today. It's why you brought in Kramer today to try to push for that job and push the guys that are already there. All right, it's after further review. As I mentioned, in about 30 minutes from now, we will we'll talk a little bit about Alvin Kamara, his day up in New York. Dennis Allen talked a good bit about it as well after practice, so we'll get to that. Sean Fazende with our camp report today in hour number 3. We're brought to you by DraftKings, official sports betting partner of ours here on AFR. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the promo code Baton Rouge. If you're a new customer, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the promo code Baton Rouge. Make a $5 bet on anything from the diamond to the gridiron, futures bets, Major League Baseball tonight. If you want to bet on college football, the NFL, award winners, division winners, individual games, point spreads, overs, totals, you can do it right now at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. Make a $5 bet on anything, and they'll give you $150 in bonus bets instantly. Also, same-game parlays are there for everyone. Those stepped-up same-game parlays. You got to opt in. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. The more legs you add, the more money you can win. It's at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today and use the promo code Baton Rouge. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/baseball terms. Licensed partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-426-2537. Oh, y'all, it's after further review. Hope you're having an awesome day so far. Scone and Tea tonight will be over at Oliver Twist. So as soon as we get done here, I'll jet over to Oliver Twist there in off Perkins in Baton Rouge. We'll fire up the feed, the stream around 7 o'clock. If you care to join, we look forward to seeing everybody there. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break. When we come back, we'll go around the SEC. I also want to talk about Nathaniel Hackett. The Sean Payton story just won't die. Aaron Rodgers spoke out about it earlier this week, and now Nathaniel Hackett meeting with the media for the first time since Sean Payton's comments went public. He spoke about it today, so we'll get to that when we come back. Glad you're here with us on AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Get out to Saints game, Saints camp. You'll see those Rouse's signs everywhere. They've been great partners of ours as well. Of course, our title sponsor on Eagle 98.1 Game Day. Rouse is just awesome. They've been great partners of ours and great community partners for 6 decades. Tell you every single week about their great weekly specials. You can go to the website at rouses.com. If you go to rouses.com, you'll see the weekly specials up there at the top of the page. The weekly ad is just what you tap, or go to any of their social media, Facebook, Instagram. You'll see it. Like, you can save $1.42 a pound right now on a value pack of 90% lean ground sirloin. If you want cereal for the kiddos as they're about to get back to school, how about General Mills cereals, the family size, 2 for just $6. It's a great opportunity to get by Rouse's and stock up right now before the kiddos head back to school. It's at Rouse's. Find that location nearest you at rouses.com. Rouses.com, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
The Sean Payton, Nathaniel Hackett thing just won't die. The Jets head coach today, or the Jets OC, excuse me, former Broncos head coach, met with the media today for the first time since Payton's comments. I don't think I need to reset it, but just very quickly, Sean Payton spoke to Jarrett Bell of USA Today, basically called the job Hackett did as the head coach of the Broncos last year one of the worst in NFL history. It has since set off a firestorm. Sean Payton apologized publicly, said that he had his Fox hat on. Aaron Rodgers this week channeled his inner Will Smith and said, "Keep my coach's name out your mouth." And now Hackett, for the first time, is responding to Sean Payton's comments. Here's what he said today in this media availability.
Before we get started, I just want to say something real quick. Obviously, last week has been a very unique week, I think, for this organization. And, I've been involved in this business my whole life, 43 years. And as a coach, as a coach's kid, we live in a glass house. We know that. We all live in different rooms. We all got a key for it. And it's one of those things that there's a code, there's a way things are done in that house. And, this past week, it's frustrating and it sucks, but we're all susceptible to it. There are things that you do, mistakes you make, and it costs you time on the field, costs you your job, all those things. And I own all that stuff. I mean, it's that fact. I got no excuses. That's how we live here at the New York Jets. That's how we've lived everywhere I've been. No excuses. So I own all those things. And it's unfortunate that had to happen, the comments that were made, but hey, they did. I'll tell you, I was probably more surprised that they happened now. Was definitely expecting them in week 5. So I'm almost thankful that we got that, out of the way. We all understand where certain people feel and think. And I'll tell you, you can always look at that silver lining. And, man, this organization, these players, the coaches, Saleh, just the entire organization, Woody, Jaime, Gelfand, everybody has been unbelievable. I think that's something that is just awesome. It's brought our team together. Even the old players that I've coached very recently, just being able to, hear them. And it makes you understand that you do this for a very specific reason, for the love of the game, for the love of teaching, for the love of watching people grow. And there's ups and downs. Never get too high, never get too low. And, got to love this stuff.
That is Jets OC Nathaniel Hackett, again, responding to the Sean Payton comments. I know a lot of people are going to hear that and think, oh, well, good for him, high road, all that sort of stuff. I think Nathaniel Hackett's a ninny. I think he's a total ninny. Are you kidding me? Spend my whole life in coaching. There's a code. It's the same stupid premise I got to listen to all the time with the baseball ninnies talking about the unwritten rules. You don't bat flip. If you do, you're going to get thrown at. You ninnies, all of you, you're stupid. Give me a break, Nathaniel Hackett. How about this, Nathaniel Hackett? How about you step up to the podium and go, yeah, he's right, I sucked. We were 4-11. Russell Wilson had his worst season ever. I got fired after we lost to the Rams 51-14, and we were dead last in the NFL in scoring offense. I stunk, and I deserve to get fired. How about that? Instead of standing at a podium trying to wax poetic about some unwritten code. Bro, you get paid a lot of money to produce. You didn't. Move on. I'm not just sitting here defending Sean Payton. It's just the premise, the principle that there's some unspoken code that you don't go after people. Why not? Y'all, I'm nothing if not consistent. And I sit here every year in every sport and tell you all the time, I want press conferences to feel more like MMA, boxing, WWE. Tell me what you're going to do. Be honest. Be interesting. At least Sean Payton was honest. And he was going to bat for his quarterback. He was. Russell Wilson took a lot of crap last year. And Sean Payton stood behind his dude and went public with it. I don't blame him. Not one little bit. And you know what? Everything Sean Payton said was 100% right. He may be uncomfortable about the firestorm it started, but you want to know how it could have ended really quickly? If you're Nathaniel Hackett, you really want that to end? Stand at that podium and go, yeah, Sean Payton was right. Had a great opportunity in Denver. I appreciate ownership and management there for giving me that opportunity and believing in me, but everything I did stunk. We were 4-11, dead last in the NFL in offense. A great future Hall of Fame quarterback had his worst season ever under my tutelage, and we lost 51-14 to the Rams, and I got fired. Sean's right. Hope to do better here in New York. Any questions? That would be more admirable than there's an unwritten code and you don't make fun of me because we had a bad year with Denver. What is that? Unwritten code. Bat flip to the moon. Pimp homers all day long. And if you suck, acknowledge it, Nathaniel Hackett. Dork. All right, it's after further review. We're brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. Theantiagingclinics.com. Y'all, Best Dress Ball is coming up a week from Saturday. Fired up for it. You want to be looking your best dressed best? You can at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Get on by. Check out all the new specials for August. Incredible. Their experts have 15 years of aesthetic and anti-aging experience to train to help you get ready for Best Dress Ball. Some great specials this month, like full facial rejuvenation, Pico Way, which is the laser treatments, buy two get one free. They also got new patient specials on lip filler, wrinkle relaxant, and $250 off any laser package. It's all this month at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. Okay, Taylor Calandro in less than 10 minutes right now. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Florida Gators.
Athletic Director Scott Strickland took a lot of heat about his proposed plan to renovate Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. Because they're talking about reducing capacity, this is really going to make the natives restless. Scott Strickland did an interview on WRUF Monday where he mentioned the possibility of exploring new locations for a brand new stadium and tearing down Ben Hill Griffin Stadium in Florida Field. He admitted that the relocation idea was unlikely, but it is something Florida's considering.
The Missouri Tigers.
Eli Drinkwitz, on the first official day of fall camp at Mizzou, was able to break in their new $33 million indoor facility. First day of practice, it was raining, so they went indoors. How about this? 100-yard indoor field, upper floor viewing lobby, and VIP indoor tailgating space. Mizzou slinging some cash, y'all.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
Arkansas got a commitment from three-star linebacker Justin Logan. Had nearly 40 college offers. He's the 17th commit for the class of 2024. Three-star, the number 41 linebacker nationally, number 448 overall.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
Edge rusher Steven Souls, 6'1", 213-pounder, is committed to Kentucky. Had offers from South Carolina, Bama, Miami, Virginia Tech, Mississippi State. He's the 55th best edge rusher in the country. Kentucky now with 15 commits for 2024.
Texas A&M!
Aggies got their 19th commit. They're fired up about this one. It's a long snapper, Jackson Graham. 5-star long snapper. Bring him on down. His brother Jacob Graham is currently on the team.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
Coastal Carolina transfer catcher Cameron Guangorena is transferring to Alabama with 2 years of eligibility remaining. Began his career at Cal State Fulton back in 2019. Hit just .242 last year with 2 homers, made 6 starts behind the plate, played in 45 games. Alabama's already brought in a transfer catcher in Will Platner from Ole Miss.
The Mississippi State Bulldogs.
And State's bringing in Purdue ace transfer Cal Steven. As a freshman, made 23 appearances out of the bullpen. He was all Big Ten that year. This past season as a sophomore, started 14 times. He'll be looking for a spot in the rotation there in Starkville. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products. Online at gcopnet.com, gcopnet.com. Baton Rouge, New Orleans, North Shore, Lafayette. They got offices all over South Louisiana, and they service the entire Gulf Coast. They proudly sell the Savin line, but they will service all makes and models. So you got issues with your office equipment, call our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products, gcopnet.com. Remember yesterday we were talking about Tua's brother, Talia Tagovailoa, who said he said in an interview at Big Ten Media Day that he was offered $1.5 million from an SEC school to transfer. I think it was Missouri. I don't know it definitively, but what I do know is I am very confident saying that Missouri, and when I say Missouri, I think we all understand the semantics, right? Like in the NIL game, the whole pay-for-play thing, it's not necessarily a coach calling a player saying, we'll give you $1.5 million. There's conduits, there's third parties, there's lots of different ways these things happen. But essentially, I do know Missouri was offering to sling some cash in this recruiting cycle. I didn't realize Missouri had the kind of money that they do, but apparently they do, and they have an appetite to win. What's more interesting is that dudes keep turning down that money. Because there's a lot of places that brought in transfer quarterbacks in this cycle. Big-name transfer quarterbacks. Missouri's not one of them. $33 million indoor practice facility, though. That's pretty cool. Yeah. LSU built one when Curly Hallman was the coach 30 years ago. Way to catch up, Mizzou. All right, it's after further review. I don't know that, by the way, that Missouri was the school that offered Talia $1.5 million. I'm guessing. Call it an educated guess. All right, it's after further review. Let's talk some booze. Taylor Calandro's with us, little Whiskey Wednesday. You got booze questions, get them in. Email us, tweet us, jump in the Byford YouTube chat, or text 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400, or should I say, X us. Don't tweet us. X us.
Hey, Twitter world.
Nope. X us.
Nope.
Did you see there's no retweets anymore?
I just retweeted something earlier and it said retweet.
It says reposted. Go look at your feed. It says It'll say you reposted.
Well, no, but I'm hovering over it right now, and it says retweet. Like when I hover over the icon.
Go to your feed. Go to your profile. Look at your feed. And on top of the thing that you retweeted, it's going to say you reposted. They're slowly changing all of it. Every reference to tweet, Twitter, all is going to be gone.
Well, that's dumb, and I refuse to comply.
It's after further review.
AFR.
Brought to you by Pluckers, Nicholson, Bluebonnet, Dine-In, Carry-Out, or Delivery. Title sponsor of our Hump Day shows all throughout the year. Wednesday, awesome night to get by Pluckers. Every Wednesday's trivia. 5 rounds of live action trivia. You can test your knowledge. Hey, Muse, by the way, I got bad news for you, dude. Really bad news for you today. You got no shot. Yeah, no shot. By the way, it's radio. You have to speak. People can't see that you just nodded your head.
Why didn't I interrupt the live?
No, that's okay. I'm talking to you. I said, hey, Muse. Yeah, you've got no shot.
Well, darn.
Yeah. And I'm usually pretty upfront with you.
Yeah, it's pretty honest.
Like whenever I think you're going to do well, I'll say, Muse, I think you're going to do well. Muse, I'll fall out my chair if you get any of them right today.
All right.
It's not going to be good.
Challenge accepted.
We'll do some Pluckers trivia later, but tonight you can do Pluckers trivia 7:30 at Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock at Nicholson. Dine-in, carry-out, or delivery. 28 flavors of award-winning jumbo chicken wings, ice-cold draft beer, full-service bar, best place to watch sports on TV, and trivia. It's Pluckers. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bid.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I'm Chris Nakamoto, and here's what I'm working on for my stories on WBRZ Channel 2 tonight. A deputy-involved shooting that was initially swept under the rug in West Baton Rouge Parish reopened after the WBRZ investigative unit submitted a public records request last month. The shooting involved a reserve deputy who used his personal weapon to shoot at a car that took off from a traffic stop. The concerning actions and what happened following the shooting. I'm Chris Nakamoto from WBRZ. Watch more tonight on WBRZ Channel 2.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Make this summer your backyard party year with Chris's Specialty Foods. Wings, burgers, brisket, steak, and boudin, plus great Cajun side dishes. We do all the prep, and you enjoy laughing with friends and family. Chris's Specialty Foods, Millerville, New Orleans, Prairieville, and Frisco.
Everybody loves Chris's authentic Cajun meat.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Pluckers Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
They're the gang with the slang. This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
All right, let's get your booze questions in. Wrapping up hour number 1. Taylor Calandro's here from Calandro's. How are you, dude?
Dude, I'm fired up, man. I'm at the beach.
Okay. Making the call from the beach. Where are you?
Dude, we're at Rosemary Beach, and some F-16 just flew over. That's one of the unspoken things about coming to the beach down here in the Panhandle of Florida is every 2 or 3 hours, military planes flying over. It's really cool.
Yeah.
It's raining.
Down in 30A, you getting the bumper sticker for the grocery getter?
Oh, absolutely. I got the bumper sticker, and I've already sent all my friends a picture of the T-shirt wall.
Yes.
If they need any gear when I come back.
I would also like to point out that our mutual friend Ryan Terrio, Mr. The Ride, who claims to hate on 30A all the time, is leaving today to go to 30A.
I could see Terrio up in the middle of 30A with no problem. No problem.
Mm-hmm.
It screams Terrio over there.
It really does. Hey, what's new?
Well, I've been at the beach all week, but I did talk to my father earlier. He said we don't have anything new. That's all he told me. So, but I've been drinking Neutral Orange.
Okay.
It's a new flavor from Neutral. That's what I've been drinking at the beach all week. It's really, really, really good. If High Noon doesn't offer an orange, and Neutrals are very similar to High Noon, so try Neutral Orange if you see one on the shelf.
Shout out to our guys at Mockler. That's a Mockler
Yeah,
product.
absolutely.
Neutral, yeah. That was completely unsolicited. I don't drink the seltzers though, but shout out to everybody who does. Let's
You don't
see.
like the seltzer?
No, I really don't. The vodka seltzer thing, it's not really my thing. I don't like the buzz I get. A little too sweet. Just not my jam. I don't really like it. No.
Yeah.
I just rather drink beer or tequila on the beach. So.
I have been drinking Modelo Oro. Have you had a Modelo Oro?
I don't think so. No.
It's like they're fairly new, and that's also a Mockler product. Actually, those are 90 calories, and they're really good if you like Mexican beer.
Okay,
they're great for the beach.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
Modelo Oro.
Oro, like AURO.
ORO.
ORO. Oro.
Modelo Oro.
Oro. You have to say Oro. Modelo Oro.
Oro. Yeah. Oro.
All right, Danny Braywick asked Taylor. He actually sent this yesterday at 12:25 and said tomorrow's Ask Taylor. He wanted to get this in. Asked Taylor about Keeper's Heart American Irish Whiskey.
Keeper's Heart?
Yep.
American Irish whiskey. How do you make an American Irish whiskey?
I don't know. I'm just reading the question. You're the booze guy.
It's either an American or an Irish whiskey.
It's Irish American.
It was probably sourced from Ireland. I've never heard of it. No.
Okay, I love it.
Sourced from Ireland, I'm sure. That's weird though, because you don't really see that very often. I'm gonna have to look into that.
I'm looking at it here. It's a bold new Irish American whiskey that channels the best spirits of both nations. Apparently, it's out of Minnesota. That sounds terrible, actually. Maybe it's good. I don't want to judge a book by its cover, but I am judging a book by its cover with that. They have an uphill climb to prove to get me on board. All right, Scott Pataro said, ask Taylor if anyone locally sells or makes full-size bourbon barrel display cabinets.
That is a good question. I don't know anybody locally that does it. I had a friend do one for me a couple years ago, and he was actually going to start doing them, but he ended up not. So, no, I don't know anybody locally that does that. Those are really cool, though, if you can find them.
Eric Gotro said, ask Taylor, have you ever had Nuda tequila, N-U-D-A tequila? I had some the other day. It was delicious.
Nuda. I have had Nuda. No, I've had Lalo. I'm thinking of Lalo. Nuda is brand new. I think we're getting that this week, actually. Maybe tomorrow. I haven't tried it yet.
Okay. Greg Lehman asked Taylor, if 30A had a drink, what would it be and why?
Oh, my God. I'm going to get in trouble for this. It'd be like a mimosa or something super pretentious.
It would be really expensive, too.
Really expensive, overpriced, pretentious, probably sugary, something like that.
When we were there this year at, I forgot, what's the Seaside. And we went up to the little promenade area. I walked up to one of the bars and had to make me a margarita, just like a fresh margarita. It was magnificent, but it was like $25.
Yeah, man. we bring our own booze to the beach. We don't really venture out much.
No, you can't do that.
Oh, absolutely, man. We don't leave the house.
All right, I got to go. Taylor Calandro from Calandro's. Thank you.
All right, Matt. Bye-bye.
All right, be well. Alvin Kamara was a fight with Roger Goodell in New York City today. We'll talk about it next on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com. Check out our friends over at Shawbills. Remember two things. Number one, if you need tires, Shawbills will sell you the best tires on the road at the cheapest price possible. That's Goodyear, BF Goodrich, Bridgestone, Firestone, Michelin, the best tires on the road at the cheapest price. As a matter of fact, they've got their price match guarantee at Shawbills. No one will beat them on price. That's number one. Two, Shawbills is hiring. You can go to the website, and you can hit the careers tab at the top of the website. So go to the website, hit the careers tab at the top of the website, and you can see all the jobs that they have available right now, all the positions that are open. But remember, when you work at Shawbills, you know if they treat their customers like family? Of course they treat their employees like family as well. Great benefits, competitive pay, weekends off, a tool program as well. Check it out at ShawBillsTire.com. Shawbills, where we keep you rolling.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance shops, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. I think we're rocking and rolling.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Big Ten's begun preliminary talks about potentially expanding membership to 18 or 20 teams, with the Pac-12 the biggest target. Oregon and Washington reportedly being considered. Stanford and Cal would also be under consideration if the Big Ten moves to 20, according to Yahoo Sports. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones feeling good about his team this season. This week he issued a warning to the Eagles, Giants, and Washington that they need to be on their game because the Cowboys are going to be on their game and they'll be improved over last year. ESPN NFL analyst Louis Riddick.
You need to expect this football team to take it up a notch. And that means more explosive plays. That means Dak Prescott making those big plays when necessary. That means Micah Parsons continuing to play at an MVP level. That means Trayvon Diggs live up to the new contract. Stephon Gilmore provide the veteran presence in the back end.
Blue Jays shortstop and AL batting leader Bo Bichette put on the 10-day IL with right patellar tendonitis. Ronald Acuna Jr. 3 for 4, 3 RBI, 4 runs scored. Braves rolled past the Angels 12-5. NHL Ducks signed star forward Troy Terry, 7 years, $49 million.
If you need last-minute hires in no time, you need Indeed. Their integrated hiring solution lets you schedule and conduct video interviews all in one place. Finding your next great hire has never been more streamlined. Get hiring at Indeed.com/credit.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
You're a loser!
Hey, shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Musu. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Sean Fazende next hour. Get a Saints camp report. Our buddy Mark Zinno from Atlanta will be here. Wanted to spend the next 3 days, today, tomorrow, Friday, getting you an update from the rest of the NFC South and how their training camps are going. So we'll hit Atlanta today, talk about the Falcons. Next 2 days, we'll talk to Carolina and Tampa, see how those camps are progressing. Big vote of confidence from Atlanta's management for Desmond Ridder. And we'll talk about that with Mark Zinno coming up in the next hour as well. After practice in New Orleans on Thursday, Dennis Allen was asked about, or obviously spoke about, Alvin Kamara's absence and disclosed what was going on there.
AK was in New York today visiting with the commissioner, so that's why he wasn't here today. Have a day off tomorrow, and then expect him to be back on whatever that is, Thursday.
Okay, good. So, well, that would be Friday. Day off. The day off is Thursday, and then Kamara will be back on Friday. I can totally understand how when you get into the throes of camp like that, you forget what day it is. So, Kamara was not at practice Wednesday in New York, meeting Roger Goodell about his potential suspension. Day off tomorrow for the Saints, and then AK will be back there at practice on Friday. Dennis Allen was asked, though, his thoughts about whether or not Kamara going to see Roger Goodell could actually affect what the outcome will be of Goodell's ruling.
I don't really know. I mean, that's a question for somebody else to answer. But I think it shows initiative on Alvin's part to want to get out ahead of this and get his side of the story out in terms of visiting with the commissioner. And so we'll see where it goes.
The benefit here is that Kendre Miller has gotten some reps while Alvin Kamara is out today. Got more reps today while Alvin Kamara is out. But one more, though, from Dennis Allen, who was asked, was it a good sign that Goodell was receptive to the meeting, meaning because Goodell was willing to meet with Alvin Kamara, so he's willing to be maybe flexible on what a suspension might be?
I don't want to really get into all the details of it. I think we've kind of addressed that. We'll let the process play out, and then we'll react to whatever decisions are made.
For whatever it's worth. So I do think, by the way, that Kamara going to New York, sitting with Goodell face-to-face, being proactive, will actually help him. Fighting the NFL, being an antagonist, that will hurt you in the eyes of the guy that is ultimately the judge, jury, and executioner, the guy that is going to rule on this and dole out punishment, the singular person, and Roger Goodell. In essence, by going up there, Alvin Kamara is showing initiative. He's wanting to do something in private, not embarrassing the commissioner publicly, and telling his side of the story. I think all that is a very good thing. One thing that is worth noting, and we all operated under the assumption for a long time that Alvin Kamara would end up with a 6-game suspension. Now, there are no more felony charges against Kamara as he's agreed to a plea deal and a lesser charge. But remember that the NFL, in their personal conduct policy, make it very clear that a player does not need to have a criminal conviction to face suspension. Some notable suspensions under the personal conduct policy. In 2022, of course, Deshaun Watson was suspended 11 games. Was never convicted of anything. Darius Geis was suspended 6 games. The domestic violence charges against Geis were ultimately dropped. In 2020, Antonio Brown was suspended 8 games for multiple violations of the personal conduct policy, was never convicted. Kareem Hunt was suspended 8 games back in 2019. That was the assault caught on video that we all saw. Back in 2019, Seattle defensive lineman Jerron Reed was suspended 6 games for an assault accusation. My point is, all of these instances were instances that involved players that were never convicted of anything, but still face suspension under the personal conduct policy. All the way back in 2018, the Jameis Winston suspension. He was accused of improperly or inappropriately touching a female Uber driver. From 2 years before that, if you remember, the accusation was from 2016. The suspension came in 2018. So my point is, just because Kamara is not going to be convicted of a felony doesn't mean a suspension won't come. But what I do think is that all these suspensions that I just rolled off, 11 games for Deshaun Watson, 6 games for Geis, 8 games for Brown, 8 games for Hunt, 6 games for Reed. And the minimum you're seeing here is 8 games, or minimum, is 6 games. I mentioned Jameis was 3 games. Richie Incognito was suspended back in 2019 for 2 games. I think that's probably the range. High end 6, low end 2. And because Kamara was willing to go to New York and sort this thing out, my guess is, again, it's just a guess, that it's going to fall on the low end for Alvin Kamara of the suspension. Let's say hypothetically that it is 2 games. You start to wonder, okay, how can the Saints overcome that? We'll talk about this more in detail whenever we actually know how much the suspension will be. But this was really interesting to me because Kendre Miller, on the day Kamara wasn't at practice here on Wednesday, Kendre Miller, the rookie 3rd-round pick out of TCU, met with reporters. And remember, he wasn't there for rookie minicamp and all that stuff. He was still rehabbing the knee injury that he had surgery on that caused him to miss the national championship game. But he was asked about comparing he and Alvin Kamara. Keep play number 5. Here's what Kendre Miller said today about him and Kamara.
Practicing the game, we kind of do it the same. We practice like we're going into a game. And so watching Alvin take his reps, it's like a game every time he touches the ball. He's full speed through the footwork and then, make a move, whatever. And, it's kind of watching him every day. It's a good example. And I just, I keep watching and just taking notes. And, he's a great dude to watch play football, really talented.
He also talked about what he's learning from Alvin Kamara so far in this training camp.
Really, it's a lot on the route part of it, because Alvin routes are, just, phenomenal to watch. And, after a route, I'll go up to him and I'll ask him, or he'll come to me and he'll be like, on this route, just do this, and, you know, just watch this. And, you know, every day just learning from him. You know, he's, to me, the best running back, route runner in the league. So, you know, just to have him at my link and my connection is just a big thing for me. So I try to use all of it.
Kamara's got 430 receptions in his career in 6 seasons. Remember, each of his first 3 years, he had 81 catches on the number the first 3 years. And then it went to 83, 47, 57. And, of course, the year in 2021 when he had 47 catches, Kamara missed 3 games that year. But that is sort of the point, isn't it? Alvin Kamara, I think, is going to face a suspension. I don't know how long it is. The reason I'll kind of go, and shrug my shoulders a little is because we've never seen Alvin Kamara play a full season since his rookie year. Played in 16 games as a rookie, then 15, 14, 15, 13, 15. And, of course, the 15 was this past year on a 17-game schedule, so he actually missed 2 games this past year. Point is, Alvin Kamara has played in 88 career games. He's played a lot of football for a guy that's entering year 7 in the NFL. But one of the real appealing parts about Kendre Miller is that even though at TCU they didn't use him as a pass catcher out of the backfield, the real appeal of Kendre Miller is that he has so much tread left on the tires because he took about as many carries in his entire TCU career as Leonard Fournette did in the 2015 season when he was just boat racing the competition toward the Heisman before it ended, you know, with a dud. But you got a guy in Kendre Miller who just turned 21 in June. He just turned 21 in June. And in his entire college career at TCU, I mean, he had, 224 attempts this past year in 2022, but before that, 54 and then 83. 54 as a freshman, 83 as a sophomore, then 224 last year. It's one season of his career where he's really had to work hard. So I like that you got a young guy with a similar skill set, a lot of tread on the tire, figure out the pass-catching part of the game as a running back, and you've got your next version, which you hope is your next version of Alvin Kamara. And we'll probably get to see that on display and what the future is going to look like when Alvin Kamara likely misses time this year. All right, so AK in New York today. We'll wait and see a ruling from Roger Goodell. Hopefully it comes sooner than later. And then we'll look toward preseason. Of course, whatever that punishment may be. You've still got Jamal Williams. You'll have Kendre Miller to see what that future is going to look like at the present. All right, it's after further review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Love telling you about Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com, Michelli.com, with more than 30 offices across 11 different states. Our nation's national leader of scales when it comes to selling, maintaining, servicing scales. Michelli does that better than anyone. And everybody knows Michelli in the industry for scales, which you may not know is everything else they do. So much of it's about making you more efficient. Their turnaround time is so important. For example, a calibration that should take 7 to 10 days is taking other companies 8 to 10 weeks. We know, with supply chain and all those sorts of issues, why ship your calibration devices to Chicago or some other place across the country? Package it, ship it, wait for it to be calibrated, package, ship back to you. Just call Michelli. One of their local reps come by, pick it up from you. They can even come do on-site calibration. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Check them out, Michelli.com, Michelli.com. They're hiring as well. Learn more online at Michelli.com. All right, y'all, it is after further review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. Sean Fazende in 1 hour. Get your Saints camp report from today. And our buddy Mark Zinno from Atlanta will join us as well to talk about the Falcons. Get us a Falcons camp report in about an hour and 15 minutes from right now. Let me knock out a quick break. When we come back, I do want to circle back to this story that we talked about very quickly in around the SEC about the possibility of Florida building a new stadium. We'll get to that. And also, the Big Ten commissioner today had some really interesting comments about the future of the bowl system in college football. We'll explore that next here on AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by the Watermark Hotel and the Renaissance Hotel, two amazing hotel properties right here in Baton Rouge. Best Dress Ball is coming up a week from Saturday. If you're going to be in downtown Baton Rouge, a great place before Best Dress Ball to maybe have a cocktail is the Watermark Hotel. Downtown Baton Rouge. Baton Rouge's original skyscraper, the old Louisiana National Bank building, it's gorgeous. They've done a renovation of that building to maintain so much of the history while modernizing it. Quite simply, there is no better, more elegant place to have a drink, a cocktail, a glass of wine than the lobby bar there at the Watermark in downtown Baton Rouge. So go check out the Watermark Hotel before or after Best Dress Ball. Maybe you have friends or family coming in for Best Dress Ball next weekend. Great place to stay would be at the Watermark. Walking distance to the River Center there in downtown Baton Rouge. Make sure you dine in at the Gregory, downtown Baton Rouge at the Watermark Hotel.
This summer, retirement is a state of mind. Whether it's a mid-morning activity or an early bird special, grab a Coors Light and chill like you're retired.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $10,500 off MSRP on all new 23 Ram 1500 Laramie trucks in stock. All with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
And we started the show today with a report from Dan Wetzel that the Big Ten is meeting to explore the possibility of further expansion, and the teams mentioned Oregon, Washington, and possibly Cal, Stanford, which would bring the Big Ten to 20 schools if we get there. It was noted that is very much exploratory. Just within the last hour, Brett McMurphy of the Action Network has another report. Yeah, I guess we can get the breaking news sounder. Yeah, I guess more breaking news here from the college football world. Brett McMurphy, he X'd earlier today. FSU trustee Justin Roth, quote, "A solution under the current ACC TV deal is very unlikely. Leads us to what's next. The alternative for us staying in this conference for the next 13 years is death by 1,000 cuts. Waiting is not the answer," end quote. He also says Florida State needs an exit plan in the next 12 months. So that's a direct quote from a Florida State trustee. If you're not familiar with the ACC's situation, amid all of the uncertainty with conference realignment, the ACC decided, here's what we're going to do. We're going to show a ton of solidarity, and we're going to sign a long-term deal. So the ACC schools, amid the SEC expansion, right, when the SEC added Oklahoma and Texas, they extended their grant of rights, actually doing this in 2016, until 2036. Y'all, 2036. In order to exit the ACC, schools would have to pay an estimated $120 million. I don't care if you pay that out over a decade plus. A 9-figure exit is tough to swallow. But what are your options? What are your options? You have this board of trustee member there saying it's death by 1,000 cuts, and he's right. You are locked into a financial situation for the next 13 years while everyone around you continues to grow by leaps and bounds, meaning your competitors, the SEC and the Big Ten. I mean, you are going to see annual payouts of 9 figures to SEC and Big Ten members, while the ACC is locked into that deal for 13 more years. I mean, the SEC will sign 2 more rights deals in the time before that deal from the ACC expires. And they all did it as a show of solidarity to say, look, you're not breaking us apart. But financially, it was a stupid decision. I mean, think about if you're an employee of a place and you lock yourself into a salary for 13 years. Showing solidarity with the company. I guess in part that makes sense. But think about how the landscape of your profession is going to change over 13 years and you'll never make more money. It's a terrible decision. But that's what the ACC did in an attempt to try to stay afloat. So I don't know what options the ACC teams have. Because not everybody in that league is going to be desirable. Boston College, Syracuse, Duke, they're not desirable. Clemson, Florida State, sure. You know, I don't have a lot of sympathy for the powers that be in college football because they made this bet and now they got to sleep in it. What is happening now isn't a product of NIL or student athletes wanting more, getting more, whatever. What is happening to college football right now is a product of a century worth of decisions focused on adults making money. Period. College football's bowl structure is a total sham. It benefits nobody. Always has been. And they've convinced you for years about the tradition and the magic and all these intangibles, right? All these intangible things that don't mean a damn thing. And those are the things you're supposed to latch on to. You know what I want? I want to see good football. Let me propose a hypothetical to you. Tony Petitti, the Big Ten commissioner, was doing an interview on Joel Klatt's show. And Joel Klatt essentially said, look, with an expanded college football playoff, I'm paraphrasing, said, I don't see a world where the bowls exist in this new state of college football. Here's what the Big Ten commissioner said about bowls.
I think our coaches, administrators would tell you that the bowls are still incredibly important in the ecosystem, and we should be doing things to try to make sure that that system is preserved around this expanded playoff. It doesn't mean it won't be different. It doesn't mean it might look slightly different. But at the end of the day, I think there's enough opportunities, enough good football teams, and there's enough interest where people still want to watch at that time of year. So I think those things will drive it. It has evolved a lot over the years, whether there are other conference tie-ins and how you create matchups around it and, who survives going forward and how many, time will tell all of that. But there's real interest, I can tell you from the Big Ten's perspective, to support that system as hard as we can.
A commissioner saying he supports the bowl system makes sense because if you have 10 bowl tie-ins in your league, that becomes salary. 10 of your teams are playing in those games, the guaranteed payout, so you can guarantee that payout. That's going into the pot that's being distributed to everybody in the league. That's why it matters to them. And you know what they tell you? History, tradition, great reward for the players at the end of the season. Do you know what the players are doing at the end of the season now about their great reward? They're choosing not to play. Why would I go play in a bowl game? Why would I go play in the Cheez-It Bowl? Risk injury when the combine is a month away. Let me ask you this question. For everyone who poo-poos this, I'm going to make this real for you. I'm going to present a scenario for you. If I said to you last year, December, okay, LSU loses to Texas A&M. They finished the regular season 9-3. LSU is number 14 in the country after the A&M loss. If I said to you, hey, what would you rather? LSU goes to Fort Worth and plays number 3 TCU in a playoff game at Amon G. Carter Stadium, or you can go play the Citrus Bowl against Purdue. What are you picking? Hey, Muse, what would you pick? Number 14 LSU at number 3 TCU in a playoff game, or the Citrus Bowl against Purdue with, half their roster?
Give me the playoff game.
You think so?
Yeah.
That's what you'd prefer?
Seems pretty good.
Yeah. How about you, Paulie? Do you have a preference there? You in for the Cheez-It game?
No, I'll pass. I'll go for it.
We had Garrett Nussmeier get an NIL deal. Remember he stayed in the Cheez-It room?
That part was pretty cool.
You know what I mean? You don't get that with a playoff, do you?
You don't. But I'm still taking a playoff game.
Oh, really? You take the playoff game. I'm stunned. And every single human listening to me right now would pick the same damn thing. All of you. And you know it's true. All of you would. The bowl system is a farce. Conferences are a farce. Conference championship games. You've got to start to reshape the way you think about college football, because you've been programmed your entire life to believe a certain thing. And the thing you've been programmed to believe is changing because the powers that be that exist in this ecosystem are refusing to continue to exist in this ecosystem. You look at your schedule and you accept the fact that LSU is going to play Grambling and Georgia State. Why? Because that's what they always do. Well, you need those layups. You need those rest days. No, you don't. Not if nobody plays them. What if you go out there and you play 12 Power 5 teams? That'd be a lot of fun, wouldn't it? Man, what if they lose? Well, then you expand the playoff. Well, you're ruining the regular season. Are you? I don't know, man. The NFL in week 17 and 18 really seems like it's a lot of fun for teams who are playing for playoff spots, playing for a home playoff game, playing to win their division and get in, whatever it may be. The Saints were 7-10 last year. They went up into the final week of the season, still having a shot to get in the playoffs. And I know what you're going to say. Well, that waters it down. Oh, really? Is anyone going to sit here and argue that that's a watered-down product in the NFL? You're high. It's the thing that this country is absolutely obsessed with more than anything. Literally more. We watch NFL football more than literally anything else in this country. You got to flush all the intangibles. You're still going to have fight songs. You're still going to have your school colors. You're still going to pack stadiums. You're just going to have a better product overall. You're going to have a more exciting postseason. Instead of kids opting out of bowl games, you're going to have teams playing to get in a playoff that you care to watch. You're going to tell me you wouldn't want to see a playoff game in Tiger Stadium? What? You'd rather preserve the Meineke Bowl? The Advocare Bowl? You'd rather preserve the Liberty Bowl than see USC host Alabama in a playoff game at the Coliseum? What world would anybody choose that? Makes a lot of sense when you say it that way, doesn't it? We're headed that way. It's long overdue. And it's not greedy people who are forcing this. It is the greed of people running college football for decades that built up this house of cards. And now the wind's blowing, and it's going to come crumbling down. And when it does, it is going to be a net positive for you and for me and everybody that loves this sport. Because we're going to get a real playoff, and we're going to get games that everybody wants to see during the regular season instead of a bunch of crap games that are forced down our throat with your tradition fund that you have to buy the season ticket to watch Georgia State come in and play LSU in November. What the hell are we talking about? If you weren't buying season tickets, would you just be aching to go buy a ticket to watch LSU play Georgia State in November in Tiger Stadium? You know what would be really cool in November in Tiger Stadium? Ohio State. And with this, there's a much better chance of that happening. It's happening, y'all. My role here is just to shake you awake to this reality. Most of you are going to get there, but a lot of you are hanging on, it's ruining college football, ruining the tradition and the culture. No, it's not. You said the same thing about the Alliance, said the same thing about the BCS, said the same thing about a 4-team playoff. You're going to say the same thing about the 12-team playoff. You know what's happening? Viewership just keeps going up, 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 up. Why? Because you're giving people a better product. And that's going to keep happening. Okay. We've had church. Now we'll go to break. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001. Give them a buzz, 752-0001. Call them now, 752-0001. If your Home Central AC ain't keeping up, if you got issues, don't you dare get stuck sweating in this weather. It's 115 degrees. It's actually unsafe if your AC isn't working right now. So if you have issues, call River City's 1 Hour Air at 752-0001. Do what your friends and neighbors all over town do. Do what I've done for years. You can trust River City's 1 Hour Air. Nights, holidays, weekends, they'll always come out. They'll never charge you extra. How about this 5-star review from Paul Deffenbaugh, who said, our AC was acting funny. We reached out for same-day service. 1 Hour didn't have an opening, but called back to fit us in. Justin was cordial, explained what he would do. He had the parts with him to make the repairs, did so in a timely manner. He was even nice to our dog. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary. For those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Walker.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCoRoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
Hello, Samantha, dear, I hope you're feeling fine. And it won't be long until I'm with you all the time. But until then, I spend my money up right down on my last dime. Come on, live Baton Rouge. I'm ready, what you put me on through. Gotta send my love down the
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, we're going to do overrated, underrated here in just a quick second. I feel like we just went to church, though. I didn't even have notes. Everything I just did in the last 10 minutes was just totally riffing. If you're just joining us, we talked about how the Big Ten commissioner is effectively saying they'd like to try to preserve the bowl system in some way that it may exist. And there's all these different reports today. Brett McMurphy just reported that a Florida State trustee on the record told him they need to make a move within 12 months. They just can't exist under this current TV contract in the ACC until 2036. Earlier today, Dan Wetzel reported that the Big Ten is meeting to discuss further expansion, which would include, reportedly, Oregon, Washington, and maybe also Stanford and Cal, bringing the Big Ten to potentially 20 schools. I don't know, man. I just totally riffed there off the cuff because it's stuff that I feel very passionate about and stuff that I know I've talked about a ton. But does that make sense? I mean, Muse, I know you you talk about this stuff too. I mean, do you long for the bowl? Do I make sense? Do you long for the bowl system and the way things used to be and the pageantry and the tradition and the sacred regular season, all the intangible things that people talk about with college football? Am I a lunatic standing on an island yelling at myself?
The pageantry, the passion, the tradition that I long for in college football has absolutely nothing to do with the bowls. It is 4 notes on a Saturday night in Death Valley. It is jump around at Wisconsin, Inter Sandman at Virginia Tech. It is that type of tradition that I long for that has nothing to do with any type of bowl system. If LSU didn't play in the Cheez-It Bowl against Purdue and win 63-7, I wouldn't have cared.
House of Pain dropped that song in 92. Let's not pretend like that's this great long-standing tradition.
It
By
is,
the way, you
but
know
it
what
is
else
fantastic.
I learned?
I love watching it.
You know what else I learned when I went to Lambeau? They're really vulgar. For all
Wisconsin fans?
For all the
I like it.
For all the STTDB flack that LSU fans take, and rightfully so, it's vulgar and awful, especially when it's on TV. All right, I'm gonna clean this up dramatically, but parents, if you have a kid in the car, just change the channel. I'm gonna clean this up, but if you have a kid, they'll know what I'm about to say. I'm gonna clean it up dramatically, but parents, change the channel. 3, 2, 1, change the channel. They, after the jump around thing, Muse, they would say, were you there?
No.
At Lambeau? So I didn't know this. They start chanting across the stadium at each other, F you, eat poo, but they would say the S word. Back and forth. Again, hope the kids aren't listening. Go YouTube it. Go look it up on YouTube.
At each other?
At each
Not
other.
At the other team?
No, at sections.
That's weird.
F you, eat S.
Yeah.
F you, eat poo. But
yeah, I got you.
I'm like, are they saying what I think they're saying right now?
That's
I mean, as an LSU guy, I was like, oh. And I was the king of the vulgar students when I was in school.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, I was at the top of the list. Admittedly, I was an idiot. You didn't want to be near me in Tiger Stadium or any stadium.
Well, okay, we'll substitute jump around then for the whiteout at Penn State. How about that? But the point I'm making, I think you understand, is that's more of the tradition and pageantry of college football that I long for, not the Tony the Tiger Bowl.
I love the bowls because I love it's football.
Sure.
So I'll watch. But, why do you need 36 bowls? You don't. It's a money grab. Why? Sometimes people just need to. You need to shake people and shake them awake for them to get it.
It's fun to bet on.
We're getting there. Yes, of course. Another dimension. Over the sacred regular season. That's crap. You know what happens in November when you've lost 2 games and you had championship expectations? You tune out. You know what happens if you lose 2 games, you stub your toe against Florida State in the opener, but you still have a shot to get in the playoff? You're really excited because you still got a shot to get in the playoff. You can get better. It's a rule. 2001 LSU is my prime example forever. 2001 LSU was 5-3 in the league. By the end of that season, they were 8th in the country. Not a damn team in America wanted to play them. Rohan slinging the ball, Michael Clayton, Josh Reed, a young Marcus Spears, Marquise Hill. Dude, that team was awesome by the end of that year. Awesome. Ryan Clark just slaying people in the secondary. Nobody wanted to play that LSU team. And the Sugar Bowl was a lot of fun when they annihilated Illinois. You know what would have been more fun? A playoff game in Tiger Stadium. Okay, do we want to do overrated, underrated?
It's up to you. I have a few that I could throw out at you.
I kind of want to talk about Florida tearing down the swamp.
Okay.
All right,
it's a dump.
We're brought to you by Traction, TractionSports.com. Then we'll talk about the swamp being a dump and how they're going to tear it down in Gainesville. Sweating in here, too. Tomorrow's the Traction Draft. The Traction Flag Football Draft. Pretty sure. Let me make sure that's tomorrow and not next Thursday. Pretty sure it's tomorrow. Yes, it's tomorrow at 11 a.m. Paulie, we're doing that in here at 11 a.m. tomorrow. You don't have to be here. I'm just making you aware that I'll be in the studio for the Traction Draft. I might need you to help me just turn the camera on or something. Anyway, there's 100 teams that play flag football at Traction. So if your son or daughter wants to play flag football this fall, get them in the league. It's Drew Brees' league. They've contracted with Traction, F&A, Football in America. It's awesome. All the turf fields, awesome facility. We've talked about it forever. I mean, Traction is such an amazing resource. When I was a kid, I was fired up when we played baseball at Millerville because they had a fence. So you could actually, if you hit a homer, it could go over the fence. Because most of the fields we play at, it was just open field. So your home run would be you just hit a ball that rolled forever and the outfielder was chasing it. So Traction's an amazing resource, man, for all these kids to have this type of facility in all the different sports. TractionSports.com, so I always say, man, hat tip to Mac Chiuili, all his partners, Terrio, Ryan Clark, all the people who have come through Traction and helped make that thing what it is for our community. Just awesome people. And, of course, Traction Flag Football. Register your kid today. TractionSports.com, TractionSports.com. Traction, where champions are made. Okay, let's dump overrated, underrated. I don't really want to do that. If you missed it earlier, Florida's athletic director, Scott Strickland, was on WRUF. And if you missed it last week, Florida's talking about a massive renovation to Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. In part, what it would do is it would modernize the venue, but it would reduce capacity. And a lot of Florida fans are upset about reducing capacity. Well, that's also your problem because you have an 89,000-seat stadium that you can't fill. And it's a very smart thing that Strickland's doing. He's like, let's have more premium seating, reduce capacity so we can fill it. You charge top dollar for the premium seating. It makes a lot of sense. It's a very shrewd business move. A lot of different venues are going to this model because nobody's filling 100,000-seat stadiums week in and week out. Well, one of the other things Strickland admitted is that they are discussing potential new locations for a brand new stadium, essentially tearing down Ben Hill Griffin Stadium and building a new football stadium. Here's the thing that I'll say, because I know there's a lot of people who are going to gasp and awe and all that sort of stuff. Y'all, they tore down Yankee Stadium. They tore down the house that Babe Ruth built. The most famous venue in American professional sports. I don't think I'm going out on a limb saying that. I think even Muse would acknowledge, yes, Yankee Stadium, Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Mickey Mantle, Joe DiMaggio, Yankee Stadium.
I mean, yeah, for sure.
27-time world champion.
Yeah.
They tore
Monument Park.
They tore down Yankee Stadium and built a shiny new one. Nothing is off limits. Nothing. One day they'll tear down Fenway. One day they'll tear down Wrigley. And we'll gasp because we're attached to those things. But it's like when Eric and I got married, I think everyone can relate to this at some degree. You know, Eric and I got married. At my parents' house, I'm sure, had a lot of crap that was just stored in their attic forever. And so when we got married and moved into our house together, whatever was being stored there, I took. And some of them were these old trophies. You know when you were a kid and you got trophies? You'd play in the league and you'd get at the end of the season.
Yeah, the whole team just gets one type deal. Yeah,
had those. And then I also, you're going to laugh at this. As a kid, I did taekwondo, and I was actually really good. I won national tournaments.
Why would I laugh at that?
Well, look at me.
So? I mean...
look at me.
Plenty of kids do taekwondo, karate, things like that.
Look at me. But anyway, I had a trophy from a first-place finish at a national tournament that was as tall as I was as like an 8 or 9-year-old. I mean, it was a huge trophy. And I never wanted to get rid of it. So I kept it in this big old box and whatever. And we're moving from that. When Eric and we get married, it's, of course, just move the trophy. It's not displayed. We're just in a box in the attic. And then we're moving into the house we're in now, and I'm like, all right, we'll throw it. She convinced me, you got to get rid of this stuff. Like, you just sit in boxes in the attic. So I do. I don't miss it at all. It's hard to let go, and it's hard to let go. But once you let go and you start living your life after having let go, you're good. Like, you know what I did last summer for my birthday when I turned 40? I went to the new Yankee Stadium, and it was awesome. Eric and I went up to New York, went to Yankee Stadium. It was awesome. There's a little nostalgia. Do I wish the old site was? Sure. Rosenblatt, same thing. Yeah. The new place would be awesome. It's hard to imagine ever going to an LSU game and not going to Tiger Stadium. I get that. The day will come. Like, that venue is not going to stand for 500 years. Like, eventually, they're going to tear it down and build something new. It's just the way it's going to go. Hopefully not in my lifetime. Okay, now we're late. My bad. Let's break. We'll do Tigers and the Pros next.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan injury attorney. Have you seen the new billboard with the Barbie on it? That's pretty good. Well, the best part of it, so they got a big pink billboard with Gordon's face. It's like Ken, but Gordon's face on Ken's body. If you look at the little Barbie car, though, Penny, their dog, is driving the Barbie car. Yes, I'll acknowledge it's a little ridiculous, but it's also kind of hilarious. If you love that, or if you don't, you can actually design the next Gordon billboard. The next contest. You can go to Get Gordon on any of the social media. At Get Gordon. The entry to design the billboard is Get getgordonbillboards.com. Getgordonbillboards.com. And you can see all of the info on how you can enter your design for Gordon's next billboard. It's a Gordon McKernan Billboard Contest. Go to getgordonbillboards.com. Get Gordon. Get it done.
It was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade, time to slip away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me, like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
I'm Chris Nakamoto, and here's what I'm working on for my stories on WBRZ Channel 2 tonight. A deputy-involved shooting that was initially swept under the rug in West Baton Rouge Parish reopened after the WBRZ investigative unit submitted a public records request last month. The shooting involved a reserve deputy who used his personal weapon to shoot at a car that took off from a traffic stop. The concerning actions and what happened following the shooting. I'm Chris Nakamoto from WBRZ. Watch more tonight on WBRZ Channel 2.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2, Muso has Tigers in the Pros.
Tigers in the Pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
Start with some minor league baseball from last night, starting single A, Todd Peterson. Yeah, I knew you'd like that. Pitched a third of an inning and recorded a strikeout, and then was lifted. Solid outing for Todd Peterson.
Zooming in there.
Jacob Berry.
Jacob Berry. We are on fire
Continues to be pretty hot since the call up to Double-A. 2 for 5 last night. Both singles did drive in a run, hitting 241, an OPS of 646. Remember, we told you when he got called up, his estimated time of arrival in the major leagues was 2025. See how he finishes out this year, if that doesn't change potentially a little bit. Andrew Stevenson last night, 1 for 5, but it was a big one. Home run number 13 of the season. Got the scoring started. Was a solo shot in the first to put St. Paul up 1-0. run scored, and an RBI. Steve-O hitting .323 in AAA baseball. Major League Finals from earlier today. Alex Bregman 2 for 2 in the Astros' victory over the Cleveland Guardians. Both of those singles as well. Also drew 2 walks, did Bregman. And we'll wrap it up. Alex Lang for the Detroit Tigers. In relief, 2/3 of an inning, gave up a run, walked 3, struck out 2. Detroit got the win 6-3 over Pittsburgh. That's Tigers of the Pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, online at lmfj.com, where all of Louisiana has gone to get engaged for more than 30 years. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. Remember, if they don't have what you're looking for, they can custom design it. They can work within your budget. And at Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, you always get the Lee Michaels experience, no matter your budget. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Just walk in the door and experience the difference at Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. All right, it's after further review. Kai Harley has added a staff member to his staff there with the New Orleans Saints. It's Scott Kuhn, was hired by the Minnesota Vikings back in 2007. He was laid off in Minnesota with the new GM coming in. It feels like Kai Harley essentially just hired his successor. Eventually, someone is going to pluck Kai Harley away and make him a general manager. And when they do, the Saints will need a capologist who can do what Kai Harley does. And it's likely now that it would be Scott Kuhn who they brought in. So we'll keep posted. It's a camp report for the Saints coming up in about 20 minutes with Sean Fazende. Sports Center right around the bend.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. You know what I leave out of here today? Walk out into the parking lot. I'm going to hop into my Volkswagen Atlas Cross Sport. Drove the Atlas for about 2 years. Loved it. The Cross Sport essentially eliminates the third row. Now, if you have a bunch of kiddos and you got a lot of stuff you got to haul, the Atlas is probably your best bet. But if you want that full-size family SUV, with all the sleeker design, take out the third row, a little sleeker on the back, all the technology, it's the Atlas Cross Sport. And they've got more in transit right now. If you want to reserve your Volkswagen that's on its way to South Point, just go to the website, southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. You can check out the new and certified pre-owned vehicles, and you can even work out your financing, all of it right now at the website at southpointvw.com for South Point Volkswagen.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Big Ten's begun preliminary talks about potentially expanding membership to 18 or 20 teams. The Pac-12 biggest target. Yahoo Sports reports Oregon and Washington being considered. The Pac-12, though, can't afford to lose those 2 schools, says ESPN college football analyst and former Stanford defensive back Rod Gilmore.
I think the key is Oregon and Washington. If Oregon and Washington head to the Big Ten, the Pac-12 is done. But if Oregon and Washington decide that it's not about the money and they'll stay in the Pac-12 and they will have a great shot at the 12-team playoff every year, great shot at March Madness, then the Pac-12 can survive, I think.
Rod Gilmore on Canty and Carlin. Florida State President Richard McCullough told his board of trustees today the university would have to very seriously consider leaving the ACC unless there's a radical change to the conference's revenue distribution model. Blue Jays shortstop, AL batting leader Bo Bichette put on the 10-day IL with right patellar tendonitis. Yankees lefty Nestor Cortez returns from a left rotator cuff strain this weekend against Houston.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
Hour 3 off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
And Mr. Toby Tom Blake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day.
It's hump day.
Let's hump, everybody.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
College football is on a roll.
Hump day.
Pac-12, gone.
It's hump day.
ACC, gone.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Forget conferences.
Hump day.
Forget bowl games.
It's hump day.
Give me games people want to see.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Sean Fazende in 15 minutes.
Hump day.
Saints camp report.
It's hump day.
Mike Zinno talking Falcons at the bottom of the hour.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We had Taylor Calandro here.
Hump day.
Saints added an offensive guard.
It's hump day.
We've talked a ton of football.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
LSU hits the practice field in the morning. We'll have it covered.
It's hump day.
All right, let's get rolling here. 5 o'clock, driving home. Glad you're here with us. Pluckers Trivia tonight. Get on by either location, Nicholson or Bluebonnet. Mark Zinno is going to be with us from 92.9 The Game in Atlanta. He'll be with us in 30 minutes from right now. The next 3 days, today, tomorrow, Friday, I want to take some time to check in, camp check-in with the rest of the NFC South teams. So Falcons today with Zinno. We'll talk Panthers and Bucks the next 2 days. One interesting thing there in Tampa is Tampa's OC, Dave Canales, acknowledged that Baker Mayfield started camp and was the favorite to win the starting quarterback job just because he's got much more experience than Kyle Trask. Well, Larry Holder and I have a wager about whether or not Kyle Trask will ever become a starting quarterback in the NFL. Well, Dave Canales said that things have, quote, absolutely tightened up in recent days. Now, that certainly doesn't mean that Kyle Trask is going to win the starting job, but the OC is saying that it's tightened up. What does that mean? I don't know. We'll see in time when they get through preseason, ultimately the season. I'll remind you, if you missed it, about the wager that Uncle Larry and I have on Kyle Trask as a starting quarterback. Think about your wager. Think about something. Kyle Trask will not be a starting NFL quarterback. You can mark it down right now. I'm happy to go round and round on that, whatever. If you tell me what you want to wager, if I'm wrong, I'll eat it. Everything I say is recorded. It's not like I can hide from any prediction. There's still people bringing up me picking Notre Dame to beat Alabama in the 2012 championship game. Yeah, I said it. I was wrong. I took a shot. What the hell? I was wrong. Okay?
Let's go like a mid-range bourbon.
Fair. What's mid-range for you?
Like $50.
$50, done. That's not even the point I want. I want no. I want the wager part where because the part don't just shrug your shoulders. No, that's what I'm saying. Because we got to the point where I was like, it can't just be he started a game. Like he's got to be a consistent NFL starter in the NFL. It's not just like someone tweaked a knee and so he made a spot start. He's got to be like a regular starting quarterback in the NFL. I need the definition of what that was.
I mean, I have the full thing, but it's a minute and a half, and I was trying to get it down quickly there for you.
Okay, well, I want the other 45 seconds, not the 45 seconds you played. All right, we'll come back. Anyway, just file that away as we make our way through training camp. I'm rooting against Kyle Trask. Look, they're tanking. If they play Kyle Trask, it's in a further effort to tank. They're trying to draft Caleb Williams. That's what they're doing. They're trying to finish with the worst record in the NFL so they can draft Caleb Williams. And so they might play trash as a result of losing to draft Caleb Williams. That's how I think it's going. Or if Baker starts winning, they may bench him. Play trash.
What do you want more? You want to win the bet with Larry, or do you want the Buccaneers to just be the worst team in the NFL?
Well, they're going to be the worst team in the NFL regardless.
But I mean, like far and away, like 3-14.
I don't care. Tampa's going to suck. They are tanking to draft Caleb Williams. If they don't get Caleb Williams, it's going to be Drake May or Michael Penix or whoever else is going to be there at the top. But that's what Tampa is doing. Carolina got very aggressive, moved up to the number 1 spot, and took Bryce Young. They've got their franchise quarterback. I don't know if Atlanta really truly believes in Desmond Ridder. Ownership came out this week and gave him a big vote of confidence. And that's on Zinno when he's with us here at the bottom of this hour. Do they really believe in Ridder? Like, how does he look? So we'll get to that in a little bit. Okay. It's after further review. Man, this is like I literally just saw this on Twitter. This is breaking news. A little scary too. Michael Cobble from our news partner over at WBRZ tweeted just a moment ago. WBRZ was there yesterday when LSU coach Jimmy Lindsey was taken away by EMS from the facility. Was told it was precautionary checks, but sounds like they found something serious enough to warrant more monitoring. Best of luck to coach. So Cobble tweeted that just a bit ago. So that was 2 days before the start of fall camp. LSU will be on the practice field tomorrow, and I suppose we'll see if Coach Lindsey is out there or not. But certainly, best wishes and prayers to LSU defensive line coach Jimmy Lindsey, who had a chance to meet very randomly at Don Juan this summer. One of the days that T-Bob and I were doing We're doing whiskey and wine for it was the Super Regional. It was the Saturday of the Super Regional. And we were there to do the show. It was a big recruiting weekend, and Coach Lindsay was there at Don Juan with the fathers of several of the players, the recruits that were on campus for visits. So the recruits had gone out with their hosts, or were whatever they're doing, recruiting visit with their hosts, and so the parents were there, and so the dads were together and there with Coach Lindsay, and I had a chance to meet him, and we talked for about 10 minutes, and a super awesome guy. I mean, like, cordial, engaging, nice. I get why people gravitate toward him a lot. So first time I'd ever met him and spoke to him, but certainly and sincerely hope everything's okay there. Okay, it's after further review. Sean Fazende here in about 6 minutes from right now. We'll get you your Saints camp report for today, for Wednesday. No Alvin Kamara, if you missed that. AK was up in New York today with Roger Goodell talking about the incident in Las Vegas and hopefully coming to some agreement on, we all hope is a lesser penalty. Wait, real quick, I'm sorry. This literally just came into my inbox. This is a statement from Brian Kelly about Jimmy Lindsay. I'll just read it to you. It's about 3 lines. Defensive line coach, again, I'm quoting this statement here that just came from LSU Athletic Communications. It's a quote from Brian Kelly. Defensive line coach Jimmy Lindsay will step away from the LSU football program as he deals with a personal health matter. In Coach Lindsay's absence, John Jancic will serve as defensive line coach, and Bob Diaco will coach outside linebackers and special teams. Our prayers are with Coach Lindsay and his family, and we ask that their privacy be respected. We look forward to his return to the program. Okay, so there you have it. So on the eve of camp, we learned that defensive line coach Jimmy Lindsay will be stepping away from the program. Obviously, I think it goes without saying, first and foremost, the lead of this conversation is let's all hope and pray that Coach Jimmy Lindsay is okay. I mean, let's obviously start there. There's a human element of this that is far more important than anything having to do with football. Okay. Now, we take that, we put it on a shelf, acknowledge that it's there. Looking specifically at this through a football lens, thank God John Jancic is there, and thank God Bob Diaco is there. That's one of the benefits of having great support staff and personnel. Bob Diaco was Brian Kelly's defensive coordinator at Notre Dame. They got the head coaching job at UConn. He was hired basically as a special teams analyst. But that's a guy who's been an FBS head coach and a Power 5 defensive coordinator who's stepping in to coach outside linebackers. And John Jancic, who's been a defensive coordinator at Tennessee and been at Georgia, has been all over the place, now slides from the outside linebackers position to coaching defensive line. So you have guys on staff with a world of experience, and that's really going to benefit you here. Obviously, and most importantly, it's, concern and sincere concern with Coach Jimmy Lindsay that his health is okay. Specifically, just on a football side, I think LSU is going to be fine. You do have a really bizarre situation, though, where in a matter of really since spring to now, so April to now, you went from Jamar Cain being the defensive line coach at the start of spring. Then in the middle of spring, Jamar Cain taking the Broncos job. And then you had an interim defensive line coach. And then you hired Jimmy Lindsay as the full-time defensive line coach. And now on the eve of camp, it's going to be John Jancic filling in for Jimmy Lindsay. Wow. What a strange, very unorthodox carousel there. As we know more, we'll let you know. Media does have availability for practice tomorrow morning, and Brian Kelly is set to meet with the media shortly after 11 a.m. Central Time. So we'll get some updates from the head coach after the first day of practice tomorrow. All right, it's after further review. Brought to you by Mold Zero USA, mold-0usa.com, mold-0usa.com. If you have mold or think you might, if you got odors in your home, office building, apartment complex, Mold Zero, patented non-toxic dry fog treatment. It's more cost-effective. It's less invasive. It's safe. Learn more at mold-0usa.com, mold-0usa.com. Forget about those remediation companies that are going to pull out carpet and cut sheetrock. Mold Zero is a better option, and it's more cost-effective. Learn more at mold-0usa.com, mold-0usa.com. Okay, Saints Camp Report with Sean Fazende next.
AFR. Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, Saints will take the day off on Thursday, but they did have workouts Wednesday down at the Saints training facility. Our buddy Sean Fazende from Fox 8 in New Orleans was there. He's good enough to spend a couple minutes with us here. How are you, man?
Doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing really well. At this point, are you ready for a day off as well?
Yeah, of course, man. It's been a little bit of a grind, but not a bad time to take a little break after 3 straight days here with pads on. And luckily today, Dennis Allen had everything indoors, so we weren't quite as hot as we've been the last first 6 days at camp, where it's been brutal down here in New Orleans.
Hey, man. I just saw your tweet literally 3 minutes ago that the Saints claimed another offensive guard off of waivers, Chuck Filiaga, it looks like, from Green Bay. And look, this on the same day that the Saints have added Kramer, the offensive guard who was at Notre Dame, has been in the league for a couple of years. What should I make of this, Sean? The fact that they keep adding interior offensive linemen.
Well, obviously Andrews Pete has been out for the last couple of days with a quad injury. We'll see, where that shakes out. I'm trying to think if there was another offensive line exit at some point in practice today. But this is pretty standard procedure, though. Kind of the comings and goings of camp when you talk about injuries and what happens. And something you're always looking at other scouting reports as well. So not terribly surprising that they're adding. I don't know much about the new player, but it's not terribly surprising that they would add someone, especially given the injury to Andrews Pete. And look, they said it was fairly minor, but he hasn't been back yet, so I guess we'll see.
You also noted today, I saw on social media, that the offense struggled today. What was sort of the reasoning for the offense not having a great day?
Well, let's give credit to the defense. The defense has really played well the last couple of practices, but I think they had their best day yet today. And I think Derek Carr has been pretty steady, pretty smooth all the way back to OTAs and minicamp and the first stretch at training camp. And eventually he was just going to have a day where he was off target. He was just off target today. I counted 4 passes, a couple of them to Michael Thomas. It just were a little off. And, a little off is a big deal, obviously, when you try to make a completion in the NFL. He's been, like I said before, pretty smooth for the most part. But today he just wasn't quite as sharp. And defensively, the secondary really has been good throughout camp. And then, you start to see a little bit come together up front with the defensive line once the pads have come on, which is certainly an encouraging sign. But honestly, Matt, you want to see this in camp. You don't want to see one side dominate all the time and one side struggle all the time. And it has been a pretty good back and forth between the offense and defense. But today, it belonged to the defense.
If I asked you week one superlatives for the New Orleans Saints, an offensive standout and a defensive standout, who races to your mind first?
Offensively, I'm going to go with Chris Olave. To me, has been the most consistent. I think he's picked up where he's left off a season ago, but he's also added to his game. You're starting to see, A, he's physically a little bit bigger. B, he's added some route diversity and also some run after catch that I know they really wanted to work with him on at the end of last year, as opposed to just kind of catching it and go to the ground. And you're starting to see that early in camp. Defensively, it's got to be Marshawn Lattimore. Lattimore has been outstanding. He's been every bit the shutdown corner you hope he would be. And this part of the calendar isn't always Marshawn's best, because we know Marshawn. Sometimes he can get a little bored, and sometimes he can get, how he is sometimes in certain games and sometimes in practice as well. But that's not been the case. He's been laser-like focused. He's been going up against Michael Thomas. He has won that battle time and time again. I think he beat him 2 out of 3 times today during one-on-ones. And if you know anything about one-on-ones, slanting towards the offense. So those will be my 2 guys. But I think overall it's been a pretty competitive camp, Matt. And it's I've actually enjoyed it. I haven't really seen much foolishness. I haven't seen much fatigue. It's been a pretty straightforward camp so far.
Sean Fazane's with us, Fox 8 on Twitter, @Sean Fazende. I want to ask about 2 second-year players. And forgive me, it's @Sean Fazende, Fox 8. I don't know when you change your Twitter handle, but I got to make sure that I always add the Fox 8 on the end. Obviously, Payton Turner and Trevor Penning are 2 guys that I think most people who follow this team are super interested in. Give me a sense, if you would, Sean, on how those 2 guys have fared in week 1.
Yeah, I think both of those guys have shown growth. Payton Turner had another good day today. He's rotating in with Carl Granderson. That's become a really good competition thus far, and it really is both guys kind of bringing the best out of the other one. Payton Turner had 2 tackles for loss today. He's been disruptive in the passing game. He's been stout against the run. And then when you talk to him like we did a couple of days ago, he gets it. He knows this is year 3. He hasn't been available. He hasn't been steady. He has been consistent. He hasn't been good enough. And he knows this year is a bit of a make-or-break year for him. But Carl Granderson is not just giving that spot up. Right now, Carl Granderson has gotten the majority of the first-team reps. So that's a good competition to watch. In Trevor Penning's case, it's really developed into kind of this, we thought it was going to be Penning versus Hurst, but it's Penning, Hurst, and Hurst, Pete at left guard. It's been kind of this three-way battle for two spots. But with Pete out, Penning has gotten the majority of the reps, and I do think he is better than where he was at this point a season ago. I still think he's a work in progress, especially in pass protection. But I believe, this is just my opinion. This is just kind of gauging, kind of the sense of what I get from people. They want him to win that battle. They want him to win that battle. So he's getting those reps, and you have seen tangible improvement. But I think Dennis Allen talked about it the other day. He still has a ways to go to become, a premier left tackle in this league. And, he missed almost his whole full rookie season. So for him, it's all about reps. But the good news, knock on wood, he stayed mostly healthy throughout this camp.
Sean, who's a veteran that needs to play better if they want to make the team?
I'll throw you a curveball here. I haven't seen much from Brian Edwards, the receiver. He's not getting a ton of first-team reps, and I know he's got that connection with Derek Carr. But I haven't really seen it that moment. And he's had a few catches here and there, but that's certainly one to watch. I know Traquan Smith is someone everyone keeps looking at, but I think he's had a nice couple of practices over the last couple of days. But that would be one. There's still plenty of time to make it up, and obviously there's still the preseason. It's very early, but I do think it's probably in his best interest to step it up a little bit, Edwards.
And let me flip it then. An undrafted free agent or a rookie that has maybe popped here early in camp.
Rookie-wise, I've been watching a lot of Brian Brzee. He's getting the first-team reps. I think he gets on the field in some form or fashion this year. Kendre Miller has really played well the last couple of practices. But the star of camp really has been rookie quarterback Jake Haener. I mean, he has been fantastic getting those third-team reps. And usually third-team, it's kind of that it's not always the best portion of practice because it's the third team. But what he's done is he's kind of elevated everyone around him with his play and his competency and his confidence and his accuracy. And so the receivers are getting better reps. The O-line's getting better reps because of his, play. And even the DBs on the other side, they're having to stay sharp. So I think Jake Haener, undrafted-wise, I've been a little, I don't think disappointed. There's still time to catch up. But the only real undrafted guy that I've seen that's really flashed has been the kicker, Blake Grupe, because he's in that battle with Will Lutz. I still think Will Lutz wins it, but I think he's been fairly impressive as a kicker. But those would be the guys that kind of caught my eye, first-year guys over the first 7 days.
A day off Thursday to catch your breath. Saints are back at it on Friday. Make sure you're following Sean on Twitter, or I guess I have to say X now. He's at Sean Fazende, Fox 8, and catch us up there, Fox 8 in New Orleans. We appreciate it, man. Thanks so much.
All right, bro.
Be well. Good stuff as always from Sean. I want to step aside. We'll come back and we'll head to the ATL. Our buddy Mark Zinno is going to be here. I want to check in on Atlanta. Each of the next 3 days, the remainder of this week, we'll stop at another spot in the NFC South. So Atlanta today, we'll visit Carolina, Tampa as well to see how camp is going for the rest of the NFC South. If you missed it and you're just jumping aboard with us here, some news from Brian Kelly just 20 minutes ago or so. A defensive line coach, Jimmy Lindsey, taking a leave from the football program. He's dealing with a personal health matter. Michael Cobble reported that Jimmy Lindsey left the football facility on Tuesday in an ambulance. No update on his health, but in the interim, John Jancic will serve as the defensive line coach, and Bob Diaco will coach outside linebackers and special teams. So something worth keeping an eye on here as Coach Lindsey gets healthy and hopefully gets back to the team really soon. It's after further review. We'll head to Atlanta to talk to Mark Zinno next.
AFR.
Brought to you by Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Tell you every day, do business with someone you know. That's us. That's Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Awful weather earlier this week. Trees down, holes in roofs. Our crews went to work. I'm really proud of them. It's what you are when you're a locally owned and operated company and you're in the community every single day. Your friends and neighbors, your customers, they call on you. And when our guys were needed, they were there, helping remove trees from roofs and put up blue tarps. More awful weather earlier today. I saw the emergency alert system alerts going off earlier today here in studio. If you have roof damage or think you might, Y'all, it's that time of year here in South Louisiana. And we know you live along the Gulf. You're going to deal with inclement weather, and especially this time of year. If you have issues with your roof or think you might, let us help you. HUDCO Roofing, HUDCOroofing.com. We'll always give you that free, no-obligation roofing inspection. Ask about the Fortified Roofing Program. You could save as much as 52% on your homeowner's insurance. It's HUDCO Roofing and HUDCOroofing.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Make this summer your backyard party year with Chris's Specialty Foods. Wings, burgers, brisket, steak, and boudin, plus great Cajun side dishes. We do all the prep, and you enjoy laughing with friends and family. Chris's Specialty Foods, Millerville, New Orleans, Prairieville, and Frisco.
Everybody loves Chris's authentic Cajun meat.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps are held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 9.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Want to check in over the next 3 days, little camp check-in with the rest of the NFC South. We'll start today over in Atlanta. Our buddy Mark Zinno from 92.9 The Game is with us. He's on Twitter at Mark Zinno. How are you, man?
Patty, great to be with you as always. I'm excited actually this year because we might have a little bit more competition between ATL and New Orleans.
We'll get to that in a second, but let's talk about what really matters first. Are the Yankees going to figure it out, or are they doomed? Are they just going to keep sucking?
No, you're being serious with that question.
Well, I mean, I was hoping you could maybe
not going to figure it out.
I know they're not going to figure it out. I was hoping you could make me feel a little better.
They have figured it out. They've figured out that they suck. And I am completely indifferent as a fan. Like, it's the worst thing in the world. I don't care if they win. I don't care if they lose. I'm so indifferent to this because watching them do the same thing for the last 3 years and think it's going to net different results is a joke.
I know, man. You know what? I told our staff here a couple weeks ago, I was like, I've emotionally checked out. I'm exactly where you are. That's such a bad place to be as a fan. God, it's
and for that fan base, which spends money ad nauseum on them, to be in this position should be the scariest thing in the world, because the problem is that Hal Steinbrenner is running a business. He's not running a baseball team. His father would have cut his own lungs out to win a championship. And these guys won't do anything to cut costs.
All right. Well, let's talk about something that made me feel better. The Falcons are going to stink again, right?
Nope.
They're going to stink, bro. Come on.
No, they're not. No, they're not. Listen, I'm not sitting here telling you that this is going to be a 13-win football team and they're going to the NFC Championship game. Hell, I'm not even telling you they're going to win the NFC South. What I am telling you is that they have a damn genius as a coach. He is one of the best offensive minds in this game that people are not talking enough about. And it took them 2+ years to do it, but they have locked and loaded an offense with weapons all over the place. And put some respect on his name already. Bijan, he is that dude. And when I say he's that dude, think Alvin Kamara, but better.
Man, that's hard for me to get there, Zinno, after a week of training camp. What have you seen that makes you that confident in Bijan?
I mean, it's not. It's as much as it is his talent, right? As much as it is like when this guy puts his foot in the dirt, like guys on the sidelines fall in the wrong direction. Like, that's how shifty he is. It's unreal. Like, honestly, one of my biggest worries is he's going to put his knee in the ground and, God forbid, you know what happens. Like, It's just, but there's so much change of direction that quickly that he's going to be impossible to cover out of the backfield. I think there might be 5 or 6 linebackers who could cover him coming out of the backfield, because one cut and he's got people falling all over the place. I've seen it in every single thing he's done in training camp. Now, again, you know me, I'm not a fanboy, right? Like, I'm not from New York. I don't, I'm not sitting here gushing about the Falcons. I'm being truly objective about what I see. But more so, this is about the way Arthur Smith is going to use him in scheme. I mean, think about this. This is what Arthur Smith has set up here. He literally can put Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and one other tight end on the field and run 6 different formations out of it. Like, he literally can run a full wide receiver set with all 4 of those guys out there. He can run a single back. He can put, Bijan in the slot, and he can put, Kyle Pitts in tight. He can run double tight end set. Like, he doesn't have to take personnel off the field to run 25 different plays. And as a defense, how in the hell do you scheme for that?
Yeah. Okay, so they have expended a lot of draft capital on the players you just mentioned to build up the toys in the toy chest. Do they have the trigger man? Management, obviously this week, big vote of confidence for Desmond Ridder. What have you seen so far? Are you buying it?
I mean, when you ask me if I'm buying it, are you asking me if I'm buying whether he's going to be a top 10, top 12 quarterback in this league? No, I don't. But I don't know whether he has to be. Like, let's just look comparatively last year and look at how inept Marcus Mariota was, right? And how many games they were in, how competitive they were, how many games they won, right? Because they won 8 of them. It wasn't like or 7 of them. It wasn't like they were the worst team in the league. And so they didn't even have an improved defense. So Desmond Ridder really only has to be marginally better to get 3 or 4 points better that would win them 3 or 4 more games. Like, I'm just managing the expectation here. Do I think Desmond Ridder can be good? Yes. Do I know that with any sense of fact? Absolutely not. And I don't think anybody does. But again, the point of this whole exercise, I think, the way they built this thing with Ridder, is that they gave him every single tool and every single weapon needed to win a football game. And if you can't do it, guess what? You're going to find out pretty damn quick. And next year you're drafted a quarterback. So that's kind of where this whole thing was from a big picture standpoint. It's like, if he can't do it with all these weapons, there ain't nothing. There's just not it. Period. And Arthur Smith has even said that to me. He's just like, look, if Desmond is it, we have the world in front of us. And he's right. If he can be, a top 12 quarterback in this league, he doesn't have to be flashy. He doesn't have to be great, but if he can hover around with most people, and I wouldn't say this about him because I think he's, a lot better of a quarterback than people give him credit for. But if he can hover in the Derek Carr range, like people consider him around the 12th best quarterback, in that low teens number, then the Falcons are going to be fine with him there. And for the record, I'm a huge Derek Carr supporter, so you'll never get me to say a bad word. I won't stand here for any Derek Carr slander.
Oh, man. Well, you should probably hang up the phone then, because I've been slandering Derek Carr since the Saints signed him.
Why? Why? Did you play fantasy football and you're a nerd? Why?
No, I've literally never played fantasy football in my life.
I know. That's why.
I know. But I think it's just through the prism that you look, Zinno. It's like, okay, if I want the Saints to win a Super Bowl again, is Derek Carr the guy that's going to get them there? I don't believe so. I believe he is undeniably, I don't even think this is debatable, he's the best option at quarterback for them this year. He's the best quarterback in this division. He's a very good starting quarterback in the NFL. I don't think Derek Carr gets the Saints over that hump, which is why I wanted to see them do essentially what Carolina did, which was play for your future and try to draft the best quarterback in the draft.
Okay, but could I conceivably argue that Drew Brees never got you over the top other than 1 year?
Well, yeah, I mean, of course, because it's really hard to win. But you were
if that's the measure, like put it this way, Derek Carr. The way I look at it, it's the same thing as Kirk Cousins, and I'm not here for any Kirk Cousins slander either. So I know I'm probably alone in that boat. I'm stuck out in the Pacific defending Derek Carr and Kirk Cousins.
You're defending middle tier NFL quarterbacks.
Yeah. It's what I specialize in, defending middle tier quarterbacks.
Tell me about Danny Dimes, brother. Tell me about.
There you go.
Tell me about Danny Dimes.
Just me and a whole bunch of middle tier quarterbacks floating out in the middle of the ocean, waiting for somebody to save us. But I mean, look. It's kind of like this thing where Derek Carr, he's never going to be the problem. Like, if you want him to be the entire solution, that's a different conversation because there's only, you can count on one hand the number of guys who are the entire solution. Not any quarterback really is the entire solution with the exception of 3 or 4 of them. So he's never going to be the problem. He just can't be the whole solution. And for fans, that's usually never enough. But objectively, that dude is good enough to go play in a conference championship game.
Yeah.
I mean, if Joe Flacco can do it, Mark Sanchez can do it. We're crying out loud. Why can't Derek Carr?
Because the rest of the Saints roster isn't good enough. But that's
well, there you
that's
go.
a whole other question.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder about this offense and this defense for the Saints this year. Like, I think the defense is still going to be really, really good, but I don't know if it'll be as good. Like, I feel like they're primed to take a step back, but I just don't know if there's going to be any level of consistency. And is Dennis Allen really the offensive coach? Like, he's not. He's a defensive guy. Like, where's the focus on the offense? And, I don't know. I feel like he got more questions than answers, personally.
It's fair. That's fair. All right, I got 2 more things for you. Mark Zinno's with us, 92.9 The Game there in Atlanta. He's on Twitter at Mark Zinno. What's the big, so far a week into camp, what's the biggest question mark the Falcons have?
Can they find something called a pass rush? Because they've been looking for it and trying to break it like the Da Vinci Code. They're like Nicolas Cage and National Treasure, continuing to get in front of obstacles that they can't get out of. Like, I don't know. I don't know the answer to whether they can find a pass rush, but they need to be able to affect the quarterback, period. Like, and here's the greatest litmus test for this Falcons team. If Bryce Young, okay, and some version of Kyle Trask and Baker Mayfield, like, if you can't rattle those dudes, forget about it.
I know.
Like, if those dudes are going off against your front seven, there's a problem. Now, you know our DC very well. So, Perry Fontenot, our GM very well. Like,
sure.
He's a smart guy. Like, I like TF a lot. I mean, he is very conscious about roster building, and I think he's very smart at it. And I think they made so many improvements in free agency this offseason that are just hard to quantify. I think they shored up the back end by picking up Jesse Bates. They certainly picked up, the linebacking core that they needed to with Bud Dupree coming over there. And obviously they get Calais Campbell to try to bolster up the front 4, or front 3 in this case, as they switched to a 3-4, but the defensive line. And, I mean, how do all those things work out? I don't know. But what I do know is that their defense was a lot of bend, don't break last year. I mean, they had some bad games for sure, and they gave up, some points in some games for sure. But for the most part, they weren't as terrible as you would have thought they were. They just can't get to the quarterback, and that's going to be a real issue for them.
Last thing. So I know you do a lot of gambling content as well. Falcons number is 8.5 over under. Where's the play?
Here's how I would play that. I would actually pick the Falcons to win the division at plus money. Why play the over at minus money? Because they're correlated, right? If the Falcons win 9 games or more, they're probably winning the division, right? Like, I think 10 games wins this division. So I would take Falcons to win the division they're probably they've come down a lot. A lot of people actually bet on the Falcons. They were around plus like 230, 240 when they opened to win the division. They're down in the like plus 180 range. So you missed the best of the number, but still, instead of taking their win total over, which I think they will get over, but I'd just play them to win the division at a better price and do it that way because I think they're correlated.
Great stuff, man. Follow him on Twitter at Mark Zinno, 92.9 The Game there in Atlanta, checking in on the Falcons. We'll visit again soon, man. Thanks as always.
Always a pleasure, Matty. Thank you.
I'm in. Be good. It's After Further Review. We're glad you're with us. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center. Call 924-2020, 924-2020, or log on to williamsoneye.com. Kiddos, you're heading back to school. You know that. Make sure you schedule that eye exam. You don't want them, like, squinting at the chalkboard. Make sure well, I guess they don't have chalkboards anymore, right? Everybody's got whiteboards now. Everybody uses, like, the whiteboard, the dry erase boards. Yeah, I'm old. I don't have a kid in school. Well, I do, but just a different kind of school. 924-2020, 924-2020, or williamsoneye.com. And for you, moms and dads, make sure you check out the Williamson Eye Center. Refractive procedures could be your key, your unlock to living the rest of your life without contacts or glasses, no matter your age, your refractive issue. If you want to live and never have to wear contacts or glasses again and see 2020, it's possible. Dr. Blake Williamson makes that happen for people every single day in our community. I'm one of them. I'll be at the front of the line singing his praises to the end of time. LASIK changed my life. And if it's LASIK, if it's PRK, if it's that lens replacement, whatever it may be, whatever it is specifically for you, there's a way to do it. Call the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020 or williamsoneye.com. Okay, it's After Further Review. Really good day today. Thanks to everybody for being a part of the show. As soon as we wrap, I'm going to jet out of here, head over to Oliver Twist. It'll be solo tonight for Scone and T. No T-Bob as he's out in Cali doing the vacation thing. He'll be back on Monday. We're not going to break. If you missed anything, AFR On Demand today. Just search After Further Review, however you get your podcast, or you can check out the AFR YouTube channels, AFR LSU, AFR Saints. You get all of our content there as well. Final break of the show. We'll come back and wrap it up next with a little Pluckers trivia and what we learned. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
So right now in the greater Baton Rouge area, there's about a 3-month supply of homes for sale on the market. Average is about 6 months worth of inventory. What that means is right now there are more buyers in this market than there are sellers. So if you have been thinking about selling your home, you've been on the fence, you're not sure if it's time, the time's right, you want to time the jump, whatever it may be, or maybe you're just at a situation where you got to sell. Whatever it's going on, something maybe in your family, you're moving for a job, kids moving schools, call Darren James. Why would you call anyone other than the realtor that sells more homes than anyone? Number 54 in the country on the Wall Street Journal's list of the top 1,000 realtors in America. Call Darren James right now. 335-7666. That's his cell, 335-7666 or agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $10,500 off MSRP on all new 23 Ram 1500 Laramie trucks in stock. All with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
The importance of doing this Fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance jobs, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the Fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a Fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. And I think we're rocking and rolling.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
$932,000 views. How about that, Paula? 932. Incredible. All right, down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Hump Day edition of AFR. Social media is amazing. If you follow our station accounts, you'll notice we're fire hosing a ton of content. And look, short form vertical is a huge opportunity because you get organic reach. Well, we put up a reel of one of the segments on AFR, and it did 1 million views. And what's so fascinating is essentially Instagram's algorithm took a 2-month-old post. It's a reel of T-Bob and Mario talking about how to say the word sovereignty. Mario's trying to say the word sovereignty. For those who don't know, Mario Jerez, who's the producer of Off the Bench, the morning show. And Mario is bilingual, and he couldn't say the word sovereignty. He was saying so virginity, and so it was a very real moment. Anyway, the algorithm took this thing and just gave it new life on Instagram, and now it's approaching 1 million views. It's at 932K. I mean, this was a thing that nobody watched. Nobody watched 2 months ago. I mean, maybe 1,000 views, something like that. It's at 932K. Like, every time I refresh my phone, I'm like, oh, my God. It's been shared 68,000 times on people's stories. 68,000 shares.
That's absurd.
That's
for
like
something 2 months old.
That's like a Taylor Swift post. All right, let's do some trivia. It's a Wednesday, which means it's Pluckers Trivia Night. Get on by either Pluckers location, Nicholson or Bluebonnet, dine-in, carry-out, or delivery. Of course, Wednesday's trivia, so get on by. You can win Pluckers gift cards, test your knowledge. Every team gets to spin the prize wheel. Even if you don't win something, you spin the wheel, you get Pluckers gift cards, Amazon gift cards, other great prizes. We always lob some questions here at Muso, and sometimes he nails it. Sometimes not so much. Sometimes he surprises us, and sometimes he disappoints us. This is one of those Muse where you have no shot at any of these. None of them.
Yeah, that happens a lot, too. Where there's just no hope.
You know what? Maybe you throw a dart. Let's see. That's why we do it, right?
Broke clocks right twice a day type deal.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, Muse, what is the official currency of Turkey? The country.
Yeah.
Like we have a dollar.
Yeah.
It's a yen, a pound. A rupee. What is the official currency of Turkey?
I don't know. I want to have a guess, but is it pound?
No.
Oh, my bad.
It is the lira.
I've heard of that.
Good.
Just didn't know who.
Yeah, maybe you should have said it. Okay, number 2. In regards to sunblock, what does SPF stand for?
Standard protection or sun protection formula.
Oh, he was so close! Oh,
dang it!
Oh, no! I thought you were going to get it!
What is it?
Sun protection factor.
Oh!
You were so close!
That would have been throwing a dart. That would have been eyes closed.
When you went standard, I was like, well. But then you brought it back to sun protection factor. You were right there, man. Right there. Can we do it again?
Yeah, do it one more time. Let's do all the things that you want to do.
That's Mason Mature too, for those that are wondering. When nature calls, when he does the slinky down the. Was that like a Mayan thing or whatever it was?
No, it was the monks. It was the
it was a monk, whatever.
Yeah.
It was down the big...
The staircase. The giant
big
staircase.
All right. All right, Muse. I have faith in you, Muse. No, I don't, but, blind squirrel and all that stuff. Here we go. In the health and beauty world, emollients are more commonly called what?
What? Emollients? That's a thing?
EMOLLIENT. Yes, emollients.
I don't know. Pores. What about me says health and beauty? I mean...
Muse, at least I didn't disappoint with the expectation.
That's true.
I told you had no shot in it.
Man,
You damn near pulled the SPF out of your T. Heine. Moisturizers was the answer that we were going for there. Emollients are moisturizers. Good luck. Pluckers Trivia tonight, 7:30 at Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock at Nicholson. Always love getting on by Pluckers for a little trivia, so get on by there. Make a full night of it, man. You got Pluckers Trivia, you got Scone and Tea, or just Scone tonight. Pretty interesting, though, Muse. I saw T-Bob did snaps. I wonder how he did snaps, but he told me he doesn't have his computer in L.A., so he can't do Scone and Tea.
Maybe he used someone else's, Matt?
Maybe the internet doesn't work at night in California.
Yeah,
maybe
that could be possible,
maybe
too.
That's what it is.
Maybe you just don't want to do it.
And maybe just lied to me. I think that's what happened. All right, it's after further review. We'll see you tomorrow. Muse, Paulie, thanks so much. Y'all have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, I'll remind you about Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Tell you every single day. Energy-efficient replacement windows. Beautiful entry doors, hardy plank and vinyl siding. They do it all. They do it better than anyone. Tell you what, when you think about the word relief, you want some relief from this heat? You want some relief from rising energy bills? Install energy-efficient replacement windows from Relief Windows. One of the coolest things, you can have them do this demo. They'll take their energy-efficient window and then just a normal glass pane window and put it under a heat lamp, and they'll have the thermometer underneath. And so you can see the temperature difference when heat is on an energy-efficient window and a standard glass window. And then you wonder why your home stays cooler, your energy bills get lower. It makes a lot of sense. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, and hardy plank and vinyl siding. They do it all at Relief Windows. Check them out online, ReliefWindows.com, ReliefWindows.com.
This summer, retirement is a state of mind. Whether it's a mid-morning activity or an early bird special, grab a Coors Light and chill like you're retired.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.